Welcome back, 13 Cards Subject Change, the show that's starting despite the fact Leroy couldn't do a proper intro countdown. But hey, here we are. So this week, it's just the three of us. We're starting show 301. We are officially in a new era of things, and I am now contractually obligated because we are now a WWE affiliate. That's not true, but the joke is, now that we're a WWE affiliate, I am now legally required to say it's a new era every show. Anyway, as we continue on.
That would be fair.
Yes.
As
Anyway.
long as I point to you and tell you to start, who cares?
Yeah, whatever. All right, so here we go.
fair.
All right, so a lot of things happened in wrestling. It was a huge week in wrestling. Obviously, GCW was in the cities. A bunch of other companies were in the cities. WWE held tryouts. We're going to start off, though, Jesse. We didn't talk too much about it. A big thing before we get into actual wrestling is, Jesse, the new favorite wrestler of Jim Cornette, a guy who I think a lot of people said had a lot of tools and then was in a lot of weird places. I mean, Justin, Grayson Waller? I mean, is this the rebirth?
So what I really loved about what I saw at NXT when it came to him was it feels fresh now. He kind of like, he's always done really good character work. That wasn't his problem. It was, hate to say it, Triple H, but you're booking.
Grayson Waller, Jesse, is the prime example
And by the way, he wasn't wrong.
No. 100% right the whole way. And I will say this. Even Jim Cornette has been saying in the review of the Grayson Waller promo, there is this sort of question of, Jesse, I mean, Tony D'Angelo been there a while.
Yeah.
You know, what is the real idea of NXT anymore in the sense of if it's still developmental, which, again, they've never said it wasn't, what is the cap on people that are making the show good if the NIL people can't get on the show in like X amount of years they're out? Like, the real question I think that's going to start coming up is, how much longer are people at the top of NXT going to get before call-ups? Because here's the thing. I think that they could have reworked Tony D into something else because he has size, he has speed, he has strength. He's got all the tools to really do what he can, and he can cut a promo. But obviously something's not clicking to the people that we have running the thing. And that's really where I want to start. And I bring up Grayson Waller because that kind of brought it into the forefront. But with the tryouts, with Grayson Waller, with everything, regardless of what certain old school people think about the institutionalization of training, there really is the best opportunity to know how to do, I don't want to say even wrestling, but sports entertainment in WWE right now. Right now you have Matt Bloom, who I think nobody will ever deny, great in-ring worker, pretty decent character work, and, you know, ultimately a very well-respected guy in the industry, kept a job in WWE a lot longer than I think a lot of people realize. And then the thing that I still can't believe Triple H pulled off, but at the same time I'm not surprised he pulled off, Jesse, the GOAT of what the biggest wrestling company of all time has ever done, the actual GOAT is running the thing. like that's the thing that, like, Jesse, I think there are plenty of people in pro sports who wish that their wide receiver coach was Randy Moss or Chris Carter.
Well, I'm sure.
But Jesse, that's the thing. It's been proven over the years. There's very few GOAT caliber people that can coach. You've got Teddy Bridgewater coaching. Teddy obviously got injuries, but was never probably going to be a GOAT quarterback. Keenan McCardell is coaching wide receivers for the Vikings. Keenan was a good wide receiver for a couple of years in Jacksonville, but he was never like a top-tier Pro Bowl level guy.
He wasn't a consistent
all-pro, I apologize.
Guy,
yeah. But that's the thing is, like, right now in wrestling, as I try to explain to people that we're meeting and they're starting to get more into the indies scene, I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand something. You can be all about the indies scene. That's great and everything. And again, I'm not even poo-pooing on that. But every single one of those indie people that you support, don't go shitting on WrestleMania. That's where they'd rather be.
Well, sure.
That's what they're trying to get to.
Of course.
And so like, regardless of what people think, this is the tribalism weird argument that's being brought up recently is like, it, you know, again, I've started to not get more angry, but just more understanding of what the sickos of the AEW crowd are really trying to explain to people, but they're still not getting where they're wrong. This business is, yes, the business of professional wrestling, but you got two guys running the day-to-day content of WWE that if you're an indie star, if you're a Japanese star, if you're this star, like you've heard of Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah.
Neither guy's ever not going to be called a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But obviously, from what Leroy watched, from what you've watched in Japan, this is still the peak that everyone's trying to get to. And that's the thing is when I look at this, I look at what Waller said, I look at where people are trying to get to. The system, in my opinion, was put on display. And by the way, is it me or did SummerSlam really actually show off the host city better than most PLEs have recently?
Well, it's a reason why Minnesota should probably get WrestleMania. You know, the original plan.
Yep.
Fuck you, TKO.
Saudi money talks.
Fuck you, TKO. But
Yeah,
here's
them
the
son
thing.
of bitches had way more money than we did, but yes.
Don't care.
I know.
And by the way, I like the people of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah.
Don't like the government. Saudi Arabian people, always sweet, always kind, good people.
But that's just it, is that when you look at the WWE system, it really is at a point where they're training you to be, I mean, Triple H will always say WWE superstar, but the truth is like everyone wants to look at me and say, oh, they're trying to make you an entertainer, not wrestler. I'm like, okay, you do realize
It's one and the same. It's
always, I'm sorry.
It's so weird to even still be having this discussion.
And that's why I think it was so unique to me to watch all the stuff that was happening SummerSlam week and realize that even some of the biggest people who got the biggest indie paydays down there, Jesse, they'll still tell you that if WWE calls and says we're going to put you on the main roster and pay you money and do this, they're still going to go there, and they're still going to be smart, and they're going to listen to what WWE is trying to do. That's the thing that I've never understood is that all these people who watch All Elite Wrestling, these sickos, they sit there and they tell you this is real wrestling. I don't think you understand what those two words mean going together, because Jesse will tell you there is a large contingency of leadership in the UJPW that will tell you, yes, we've always been more wrestling-based, but we've never really been able to hit outside of our own country.
Pro wrestling is sports entertainment is pro wrestling. The only reason it got a negative connotation was because of Vince McMahon.
It's
that simple.
Because Vince McMahon, quote, one more time, quote, never wanted a wrestling company, but like every smart, true businessman, why not just buy into a company that's already got clout? Why would you start from scratch if you don't have to? Especially since, by the way, Jesse, I think you and I both agreed doing our research over the years. Vince McMahon Sr. never really was going to let anyone else buy it. He just forced his son to pay him for it.
In a way, yeah.
Vince McMahon Jr. arguably did the same thing with TKO. Obviously, a little more evil connotation to it, but
selfish.
Yeah, he's selfish and evil, but like, no. There was never going to be another buyer for the WWF. It was always Junior, but his dad made him buy it. But again, Junior, people, you don't learn what Vince McMahon Jr. knows about business. You can't learn it. There's a handful of people in the world of business. You can't teach what they know.
Right.
You can't do it. They see things 5 steps ahead of what you're seeing.
Right.
You know, it's like I always say this. When you think about opening up a restaurant, you're thinking about the napkins, the silverware, the this, the that. Gordon Ramsay doesn't think about those fucking things because he's already got 14 suppliers on fucking, retainer.
Right.
And he's thinking about what's the projection 5 years down the road. What's my name going to do?
It's just so strange to me that we still have to have this conversation. Like, back in the territory days, the old adage was we believed it was real because we didn't know about the behind the curtain stuff.
Yeah.
But guess what? It was still entertainment.
Jesse.
It was
definitely,
still a
yeah.
show.
Jesse, Leroy used to watch on Saturday mornings, and I promise you, Leroy, you go ahead and tell me if I'm wrong, but you were not watching what AEW is trying to push on television.
I know. I was watching something way, way, way the fuck better.
Wait, but here's the thing,
I don't even want to say better, though. Difference probably the better term.
But I got to be honest, when it comes to AEW, most of those wrestlers, like, Can we just be fucking honest about this? Because even Will Ospreay apparently is a self-delusional liar about some of this. Dude, you're an entertainer. If people don't want to come see you, you don't make fucking money.
Jesse, I don't think what people don't get is that Will Ospreay, the presentation in Japan worked because he was a gaijin. So what that meant was he was different and unique for coming in day one.
So he's an Englishman who's not, he's not Japanese of any kind and came to work for them. But guess what? They do sports entertainment of their own kind.
It bothers me that you look at someone like Jushin Thunder Liger and you're like, that's one of the best wrestlers of all time. Like, yes, but he's an all-around entertainer.
But I would say he's an all-around great sports entertainer as well. He was excellent in the ring. He was excellent at promos in his country. Like, yeah, he's
But
a
Jesse,
legend.
when he came and he wrestled in America, he was a character that worked because he was Thunder Liger.
But you remember back in the day too, all the guys in the territory were not making the money they are.
It has
now.
nothing to do with the money, though. It has everything to do with if the situation being that in AEW, they think that if you just wrestle for 20... Okay, the prime example, and we'll get to the, blow by blow, because what a main event. Thought it went a little long in certain places for myself personally, but I get the story they were trying to tell. Jesse, I promise you, any company in the world ever, except AEW, Seth and Roman is a 5-star classic going away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But not in AEW because they're like, well, where was the action? I'm like, it wasn't about moves. It wasn't about action. 15 years these guys had to put in.
They did it old school, like they were telling a story in that ring.
Every movement
like
they made
did
in that. How long
in
was
the
the
territory.
match? How long was the match? Do you have that up?
I think it was 32 minutes.
Okay, 32 minutes. Jesse, that 30...
He'll confirm.
33 and
okay,
25.
It felt like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Seriously.
There was a story being told.
I think they went a little long at the end because I think they were, but again, they were like, 30 minutes into this, so like the last 3 minutes dragged by a little bit. It just seemed like it because, again, they'd already put all this work in. But it's like, Jesse.
Their asses were worn out.
Exactly. But that's the thing. Leroy, that match would have worked on TV for you 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 40 years ago.
Because
that match doesn't work.
I've seen that style on TV.
Yeah. But that's
I've
the other
seen
thing.
that style.
Is that, okay, Jesse's right. Why do we have this conversation all the time? These people make comments about All Elite, and they sit there and they say, that person wouldn't last, and they're usually talking about WWE people. They're like, well, that person, this, other. Guys, 20-minute matches between two guys that you've met in a bar and are friends with is not going to make the money that Seth and Roman just made.
Guys, real quick. As Jim Cornette has tried to break down to the universe before, so in pro wrestling, we had an idea. We're going to pay this guy to be an asshole, go up and slap this guy. People don't know we paid this guy to now be around the people and be like, and everyone's like, hey, fight him back. Boom, you have your story. You have a reason everyone's enthralled by it.
What did he say on Dark Side of the Ring one time? If you're driving by and there's two bums fighting on the side of the road, you're going to stop and watch. It's human nature.
Right.
Now imagine if you had a stake, whether it was actual money or emotional stake in one of the bums.
Right.
You now want that guy to win.
Right.
Remember, throughout history, Jesse has fallen in love with guys, not just because they're technically sound, but because of the story that he knew about it. Jesse, the ace hooked everyone in Japan because, let's be honest, I don't think when he started, everyone thought he's going to be what he became.
No.
But he was always overcoming things.
Correct.
The ace didn't out-wrestle all of his opponents. He fought from underneath.
Correct.
He could out-wrestle half the world at one point.
Probably.
But Jesse, as I explain to people, just because Alexa Bliss technically could probably out-wrestle half of anyone in the world right now in a women's thing. Jesse, if she's working face, there's no reason at her size to out-wrestle someone.
Correct.
To fight from underneath is exactly what she should be doing. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what Vince did, but he got Jedi mind tricked all of us. He made us believe she was 6 feet tall. Like, I mean, that's how. And she did a lot of work too.
I've always said when you rewatch those matches on SmackDown and stuff, Leroy, including like, because she had her heel run was very long.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
She worked as a cheating brawler, but that worked because she's so small. So she had to cheat a little bit. She can outmaneuver her opponents. She was a brawler, so she would punch and kick a lot, but it worked.
The basic idea of a heel is...
By the way, the fact that he put his faith in her that quickly, by the way, when even Triple H didn't make her champion in NXT.
Which is why it's crazy to me when people sit there and they say that Alexa Bliss can't touch any of the 4 horsewomen. I'm like, she did everything before they did, so I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
there might be the 4 horsewomen, right?
Yeah.
They answer to one. That one is Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like, okay, I know 90% of the names, and I have watched probably 10-plus matches of 90% of the AEW roster that is on TV every week, and even some of the guys that randomly show up. Like, Jesse, you and I see the names, and we're like, oh, we know the guy, but it's like, why are you here? What's the point? But, Jesse, if you ask any of them, despite what their internet fans say, if you ask them honestly, who are they going to point to as being the 2 biggest guys in the business? The 2 guys that main evented SummerSlam last night. It's not a question in anyone's mind.
They've been the 2 most important guys, 2 of the most important guys in pro wrestling for the last 15, 20 years.
Which is why I tell people, Mox made a choice. It's a personal choice. Business-wise, it makes no sense to someone like me and Jesse, who would rather things A, make sense, and B, make a lot more money, but whatever. He's making $6 million because Tony's... That's the other thing. Jesse, these guys aren't getting paid for how good they are. They're paid because this is what Tony thinks you pay wrestlers. The money scale got screwed up because the fucking Bucks told Tony how to pay for wrestlers, and the guy didn't have a sense of money or a need to make money. A prime example right now, and I'm going to go on a small tangent right now,
really
okay? I have a way to fix baseball.
Don't fall off your soapbox.
And here's what it's going to be. At the end of this season, go find the 18th best team in all of baseball, because there's about 30 teams in the league, okay?
Be the fucking Yankees.
Yeah, well, you know. Okay.
Frustrating.
But anyway, go find...
Whatever.
Go find the...
I'm a Twins fan.
Go find... That's not something to brag about.
I know. I'm
pathetic,
just
sir.
By the way, I'm complimenting you because I'm like, the Yankees are going to fucking lose the division that they were in control of.
Yeah, exactly.
For most of the year.
But no. Anyway, to relate this, go find the 18th ranked team when the season's over, okay? 18th ranked team, you're kind of at the middle of the pack, which means you could theoretically win it all because you're in the top, whatever.
Right.
Take their payroll, round it up to the nearest 10th, and that's the floor. Make teams pay to be better. In wrestling, the problem is that people are not getting paid to be better. They're getting paid because this is what a guy who doesn't need to make a dime the rest of his fucking existence thinks they're worth. I mean, how many more times do we have to talk about there are people in Ring of Honor, this version of Ring of Honor, making more money than the entire Ring of Honor roster in 2005, which was one of the best fucking collection of people ever.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Jesse, the Briscoe brothers never sniffed the kind of money that fucking jobbers in Ring of Honor are currently making.
I keep saying, I want to make it clear. When a wrestler wants to leave WWE, a lot of people can kind of understand where they could be coming from. You feel stifled.
Yeah.
Now, in this WWE, it's a little bit different because at least you're not forced to go eat catering for money.
Yeah.
Triple H will pay you to sit at home until he has something for you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when you want to leave,
because Triple H hated to do that back in the day.
Well, right. Like, Vince, why? Okay, he didn't mind building an undercarder, but like, okay, if you don't need me this week, why am I just sitting back here with everyone?
Well, not only that, but it's like Jesse, how many of those appearances of Triple H sitting in the Evolution locker room were just moments where it's like he showed up to the building and he wasn't on the show that week?
We used to joke sometimes because I was just like, he never came out. These were all taped last week.
Yeah. But he was there for whatever reason.
But yeah, no. Here's the thing. So I'm like, if a wrestler wants to leave AEW, think about this. You were technically getting paid more. Now, yeah, you can negotiate that with WWE. You can kind of get to the money you wanted to get to. He's me today, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Leroy.
Well, I should have had sound off on that, but for
You say this every week, and then we hear the freaking DX theme and the Stone Cold
like
thing.
I said, this.
Oh, that's off.
Well, that's his ringtone, but like he was.
My ringtone is off. No,
All right, Jesse, continue.
But yeah,
the
so
media
like
was on.
they leave better money.
Yeah.
They haven't been on TV in like 8 months, and they were getting paid the whole time.
Hey, Jesse, it's funny. We talked about it last week, but it fits in this segment. Wow. WWE gave up on Royce Keys right away. Huh. He literally said he's the one that asked to do all this.
By the way, they won. I just want people to know that team won. They won. And by the way, for the LA Knight fans, LA Knight got the pin. Chill. Listen, I'm not saying Triple H can't take heat. Chill.
Well, not only that, but Jesse, Royce Keys was the prime example of what the sickos wanted. Oh, no, a black talent goes. Clearly, Triple H only wanted him, so he wasn't in AEW because that's how Triple H thinks. He's not Vince, you morons. And Jesse, they're holding him back. They don't like him. Oh, my God, look at these dark matches. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Literally says 2 weeks before SummerSlam, I asked to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go on but by the way, that is twofold. Number one, dude's got a work ethic. You can coach that.
Right.
And number two, and this is the part no one ever wants to bring up. No one ever wants to bring this up. Clearly didn't learn a whole lot doing the other's fucking show, did he?
And by the way, like, he told them he wouldn't have minded going to NXT. It was their idea to just be like, I think we can teach you enough as you're on main roster, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, like, it's also WWE going, there's a lot of shit you probably don't know, but, you know.
But you've worked American style, whereas whereas Evil, Jesse, he'd never worked Western style stuff.
Right. And by the way, he's looking great. Naraku looks great so far.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, and by the way, it was Santana's preparation to start in NXT.
Yep.
By the way, Sean Ross Sapp had to put out a thing because Sean got over emotional, and people had to yell at Sean, bro. He chose, like, of course WWE wouldn't have just told him, like, you got to go to NXT. They asked him, hey, we can bring you up.
Triple H
I don't have much for you to start with.
Triple H is literally stuck in a cycle where they took pretty much everything he was trying to build on SmackDown and said, hi, they no longer work here. And they did it all in the same fucking day. So why wouldn't he want someone like, Mike Santana to come up day one and debut on SmackDown? Oh, wait, he chose not to.
By the way, the interview with Joe Gacy, it slightly vindicates Triple H a little bit.
Yeah.
But not by much.
Yeah.
But I will say this. It does make you go, there's still a war going on between the creative of WWE and the fucking bosses at TKO.
Which is weird because, again, Vince coming back.
Well, how do you walk into a company that was on fire?
Yeah.
And then go, well, we're kind of still on fire, so why don't we do this? And like, fuck off. Let them get it back. Like, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I will say it on this show till I'm blue in the face. If you purchase something.
WWE, you know what? WWE is basically owned by the Twins owners. They're just
100%. No. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. How you can purchase something and then 3 months later, 7 days, they make $1 billion and you decide you need to get involved, I'll never understand. I'll never understand a day of my life.
Like the Pat McAfee thing. Oh, we just figured it would help. You didn't need to try to help. And now we're going to get the story right probably this time.
Yeah.
Let Triple H try to work his magic with two guys who have
and despite what Allison thinks,
and Cody Rhodes.
And despite what Allison thinks, Randy is not the heel in that situation.
Right now, Randy is a face.
Because Randy can't be turned the bad guy right now. Because Randy is in Stone Cold territory. Whatever he chooses to do, they're going to cheer.
Homelander is coming, I think.
Yes,
I think Triple H wants to do it right.
Yeah,
we gotta make you keep fumbling before we do it.
Is it going to be a slow burn to Homelander?
I think by the time we get to the
Survivor Series,
the end of this Randy feud, well, not even really the end, but this chapter of it. He'll have turned.
Homelander will quote unquote present himself after the Randy feud.
I'm starting to get a sense, maybe.
Yeah.
Because of course, right now there's a little bit of a fan tiring of babyface Cody Rhodes continuing to win the championship.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it. Yes.
And like I told people, I'm like, you could feel that way, guys, and I understand why you feel that way. But he is QB1 for a reason.
But I'll give you a thing about that. It is tiring there, but you know what? My little girl, Clara, still loves Cody.
It's just he's right now he is the most popular. It's almost it's not quite the John Cena thing, but it has
right. No, yeah.
But like I keep telling people, like now Triple H will get the chance. Hey, Randy, when we do this time, because I'm not gonna fucking be interfered with.
Yeah.
Now we can do this the proper way.
Because Jesse, Pat was over and served a purpose when he was working with either Vince or Stone Cold, which everyone knew were novelty acts, or even the Adam Cole thing while he was in NXT and coming up. But once Adam Cole was Adam Cole Bay in NXT, you didn't sniff Pat McAfee.
Right.
Because there was no reason for Pat McAfee to be there.
Right.
And I think that's the thing is I think Pat McAfee really soured the fans before the last time he was there because, Jesse, I think he knew this was all a bad idea. He overacted. You always said Chad Kroger oversins. He
used to, yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like, Jesse, I think even Chad realizes he probably didn't need to do all the things that he did back then. They were, they had a base that worked and made sense. And whilst they've had an incredibly successful career, that doesn't mean that it was perfect. No, like especially in the music business, no musical career has ever been perfect. It's never worked like that. But I think that fans in WWE for a short period of time there turned into, we just want the talent. Which is what Triple H wanted for years. Vince was always like, I need celebrities. Then do a better job with your roster, motherfucker.
Yeah, I keep telling people, like, did y'all forget the fucking Monday Night Raw fucking host for a while? Like, for 5 years?
That's because nobody would watch the show.
Like, this shit was awful TV.
And by the way, no fault to the celebrities. You have like a week of preparation to do your shit.
Like I said, a couple of the most memorable ones were, Bob Barker was just great on his episode. He was fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Barker and interacting with Chris Jericho, that was priceless.
Bob Barker.
And the Muppets were great because they're just the Muppets.
Well, the Muppets were a lot of fun. It was wholesome. I'm like, you know what? This is probably the most wholesome episode of Raw since '94.
Yeah.
And the one I like was when Jackass was on there.
They always do good with WWE.
And Steve was like, yeah, when he got nailed by Umaga.
Quick side tangent. It was really cool. So Sami Zayn did an interview this was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
he was talking about that match, and he was just like, "Listen, because I guess a couple things went wrong, but I guess before the match, he had talked to the crew. He's like, hey, if this goes wrong, why don't I do it this way? He's like, it'll hurt me, but at least like we won't throw the people off." And Sami was like, as I'm listening to him talk, I go up to Johnny like, you would have been really good at this if you had ever did this full time. And Johnny was just like, there's no chance because you guys are just these great athletes, man.
And by the way, it's funny. Sami Zayn has said on multiple occasions, I'll never touch that. That's my magnum opus.
Like him and Johnny came together and did some magic on that.
But again,
did, yes.
But again, this is the part that like fans don't get in AEW. Y'all cheered CM Punk. Now you hate him. It's funny. When CM Punk tried to present you with what wrestling is supposed to be, y'all watch Collision like crazy.
I know.
Collision did pretty well.
Collision was awesome.
And then all of a sudden, see, this is the hypocriticalness. I hate to say it. You want to know what is one of the most revered matches in AEW? It's Gin and Juice versus FTR.
Yeah.
That was the most sports entertainment wrestling match that they've ever had in All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, it was fucking phenomenal stuff.
But Jesse, I was talking to someone over the weekend who was talking about the festivities that go on that aren't connected to WWE. Yeah, but there's a bunch of people there that if they ask WWE, it's the CM Punk conversation with the girl in Chicago. You made 600 people in a bar happy. You're not going to make 60,000 in an arena happy because what you did isn't going to translate. Because think about it. Okay, if you tell two girls you got 5 minutes, okay? If the one heel girl throws the baby face over the top rope and then stops and flips her hair and then goes out to attack her instead of what we see in AEW, which is throw them out, get out there because you have to set up for your spot on the floor, you did more help for yourself with that hair flip than you could ever possibly imagine because you made the crowd think for a second.
let's throw it to this. Me and you are metal guys,
Yeah.
including classic metal guys. You kind of are a little bit, even though you're mostly country. But this actually can relate to Garth Brooks because he said it before.
Yeah.
He's like, when Bruce Dickinson talked about when I joined Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
we did it one of our first big arena shows. He's like, I got bigger and theatrical because it's not just the person in the front row who matters. It's the guy with his kid that is like, it feels like 40,000 seats back. I want them to have the experience too.
Jesse, for as weird as
that matters.
For as weird as they got, Leroy can understand this because for those of us who love rock and roll, Jesse, for everything that they became business wise, Kiss is still one of the greatest live acts to ever exist.
Now Garth Brooks looks strange today, but when
Yes.
I go, I love him. He's one of the greatest of all time. He looks weird today though. He looks like a creepy dad who would show up on Chris Hansen's Predator thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I'm not trying to hit him, but that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
But he talked about when I was first doing the big arena shows in the 90s, he was like, I told them, like, I'm going to walk down this thing a lot. He used to have that big aisle thing. He's like, and I'm going to go up to people, and I'm going to have them sing to me and stuff like that, and I'm going to get theatrical. Because he's like, the people on the top matter just as much as the people down here.
Oh, yeah.
And they matter just as much who pay for the bill.
Here's a story.
Personal experience with I saw him. Can't remember what tour it was. It was a tour in the middle '90s.
Yeah,
he was at the Target Center.
Mm-hmm. Biggest freaking star in the world at the time. By the way,
we had seats that were right on the wall, right behind him, kind of in the corner.
Yeah.
He went around to everybody.
Yeah.
He went to us and pointed up to us. Probably not exactly us. But in our area, and was singing and loving us.
Here's a story. Here's a story out of Here's a story out of the old classic metal world that was more from the Sunset Strip that a lot of people may not know. Eddie Van Halen used to play backwards. And what I mean by that is he used to turn his back to the crowd and because he didn't want people to see what he was doing on the guitar. But Van Halen didn't peak until you got David Lee Roth, arguably one of the greatest frontmen of all time.
While he was an asshole, he was a showman. So he did understand that part of the game.
Jesse, the old David Lee Roth shows in the early days of Van Halen, they made no fucking sense, but you were entertained.
Well, because David understood, like, he's a guy. We played a festival.
Yeah.
And I just, before they got on one of the big tours for like one of the old big 70s bands. And I think it was with Ozzy.
Well, no. Well, no, remember, that was Ted Nugent.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. And so, like, he was saying, like, I was telling Eddie, like, we got to be present because it's not just the people we can see, it's those back there we can't see. They matter, man.
And that was definitely the artist in Eddie not meeting the entertainer in Dave. And that was a lot of their struggles throughout their years.
Well, Eddie became better at it because, especially when they could have the cameras on his hands, he
also made a lot more money doing it Dave's way.
Because David was like, hey, if we can get people to kind of shoot your hands, you just playing, they're going to be fucking wowed by you. And they were.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the greatest person to ever interact with an entire crowd was Eddie.
Freddie, but yeah.
Freddie doing that.
Now, hold on.
And
that dude was a showman.
But you also got to understand,
minutes, and
Freddie,
he had that captivated by singing levels with the entire crowd.
Right there, though. That's what you got to understand, though.
Wow.
Freddie Mercury was the outlier because, Jesse, Dave, not the best singer, but an amazing showman.
Yes.
You've got guys who are great singers, and then they didn't have much of a stage presence, so the rest of the band had to kind of figure it out. Then you have someone like Alice Cooper and Freddie Mercury who, for what they did, oh my God.
Alice Cooper, remember,
was theatrical before theatrics were ever done.
Because he said, he was like, why just do a regular show? I'm just singing the songs.
Do people not realize, if you've never seen Alice Cooper, let me explain something for 2 seconds before Jesse continues, because I want to get the point in. The guy is giving you a rock concert and singing all these classic. He's doing Schools Out while his head is getting chopped off. This is happening. This is happening.
Because to him, as he said, and by the way, and this is why it ties back into AEW. Hey, the people who came to see you, in these big arenas and stuff, who you can't see, matter just as much as the people who paid to be in the front row. Give them a show.
Well, and this go back to Christian rock here, Mercy Me.
Okay, yeah.
The last song they did, he said, "This is a dumb song, but people love this, so we do it. It's called the Happy Dance."
Do you realize?
And they take a camera and shoot everywhere on the ring. So when the camera goes on, you're supposed to dance like a fool.
Leroy.
And everybody does.
Leroy, do you realize?
It is so much fun.
Do you realize I'm about to quote one of the greatest of all time when I say this?
Sure.
We're going to play this song. You fuckers like it. We don't know why, but we have to play it. That was Lemmy about Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
He hated that song after 20 years, but he knew he had to play it every
That
night.
song kicks ass.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
And it's only 2.5 minutes, so you can
That's
just walk
an
off
awesome
when you're
song.
done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick.
But no. What, guys, the thing about it is, wrestling, even in the days of the territories, like Jesse said, they weren't the garbage man. They weren't, they weren't Warrior. They weren't Hogan. They weren't Flair. But Jesse, Dundee and Lawler had great rivalries because the crowd that they had believed in what they did.
Really quick, let me actually give a couple of AEW wrestlers some credit, even though they should be speaking out more about this shit.
Yeah.
But clearly they've done it because they've been the most successful at it. John Moxley on his original run. Like I told people, when I used to watch him in 2020, even when the fans came back, to all, listen, yes, the refs are annoying for not doing the counts and shit. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the reason he was doing those spots and bringing people into the crowd and sometimes climbing up and letting the people up top pat him, was because he understood they all matter up there.
Hey guys, you want to know who one of the worst?
Toni Storm.
Yeah.
One of your biggest, because she created a character. She was so theatrical. And yet you're like, and the character had a great story. And you're like, I love this.
For those of you wondering, because we just said it on the show a couple weeks ago, and I got a little heat for it from people who love him. I love him too. One of the worst pushed wrestlers of all time, but all you indies think he's a darling, was Sandman.
Yeah.
He couldn't wrestle.
He could not wrestle.
But Paul pushed him to the moon.
Because he was a
He
character.
made him a fucking star.
Because he was a larger-than-life character.
Paul said it himself. Not the best wrestler ever.
Oh, trash.
Yeah, but
But he was the Sandman.
Yeah.
But also, no, it's the way the crowd went. All of a sudden, you heard the intro.
Guys,
you knew who was fucking coming.
One of the most perfect entrances ever is Sandman ECW One Night Stand, because he comes in, even when the fan put the belt around him. Jesse, it clipped around him. The belt was perfect. He stood on the guardrail. He was already drunk. He shouldn't have done that. But it's like, guys, the entrance was the essence of Sandman.
Right.
The wrestling was trash.
Oh, yeah. He was a trash wrestler.
But he was but I'll love him till the day I
was
die.
phenomenal. Listen, it's like I got to tell people, I understand why people love Mark Calloway. To be that big and that much of to live that character of The Undertaker.
Yeah.
But
Oh, God,
you
yeah.
don't forget, Mark Calloway was a fucking excellent wrestler for his size. Excellent.
But again, Jesse, he stuck to what he was capable of doing. The dives happened with Shawn because, let's be honest, he had to raise, because, I mean, it's weird when I say this to people because they're like, you're talking about The Undertaker. Yeah, but I'm also talking about Shawn Michaels. He had to raise his game to face Shawn. That's why he did dives with Shawn, but didn't do dives with everybody else.
So he did them with Kane.
Well, yeah.
Of course, he did it with Triple H. By the way, I people still hating on Triple H's wrestling career. I'm like, you can't tell me you're a fan of the technical part of wrestling, and you don't think that guy wasn't a Hall of Famer. I'm like, I don't give a fuck how much I hated him during the Reign of Terror. When I go back and watch his matches as a main eventer, that is one of the best technical wrestlers to ever do it. And to discredit him lets me know you don't know shit about pro wrestling.
But now let's go to your side of the Pacific, shall we? So my question to you is, what is the equivalent in Japan that everyone is trying to get? Because Jesse, unfortunately, you guys as Japanese fans, again, you don't have to bear the load, but you have to bear some burden that these sickos think that they're doing what you guys are doing.
But here's the thing. So you think about like Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
And Minoru Suzuki
A
was
legitimate badass.
a legitimate badass, but he was a great character too. So like,
By the way, he also gave you respect when you earned it. He didn't just give it to you.
Well, and the character itself, because I know people who have met him, they're like, the man is nothing like the character. The man is sweet and funny.
Yeah.
But like, the character himself was so threatening and vicious and funny at times.
Yeah.
But like, the other guy I know people bring up, and yes, he wasn't as flashy, is the creator of New Japan, the great one. Oh my God, why am I brain
Inoki-san.
Thank you. Inoki was not a flashy dude.
No.
But Inoki just had a presence.
He had a presence to the people of Japan.
Like, the presence of Inoki, I'll say it like this for our American audience. He was Michael Jackson of pro wrestling in Japan.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, his presence alone
And that's why
made people weep.
and that's why I always think it's hilarious that first pay-per-view, Dream whatever, and they dedicated it to Inoki, and I remember watching it, and I remember texting Jesse while watching it, being like, Inoki would slap the fucking piss out of every person on the roster.
Oh, yeah.
He would have hated this show.
Dream something. It was in Seattle. I know what you're talking.
Wrestle Dream.
By the way,
Wrestle Dream is the name of the show, yeah.
speaking of the Washington wrestler in AEW that does a lot of big character shit, but he's a really good wrestler, Swerve Strickland. What does he say his biggest influence has been the last 10 years before he passed away? Was Bray Wyatt. So that means you understand, even though sometimes he'll run his mouth about WWE.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you understand that it is character work that matters. And while if you can do that while telling a great story as a great pro wrestler, it's just
I think
cherry on top of cake.
Look, because he passed away, and by the way, had we had the ability to go, that picture online, I would have sat at JoJo's table and talked to her for hours, mostly just thanking her for allowing us to.
Well, somebody got the
I
footage
think
of
some of our friends of the podcast were down there and got to see her in a picture with her.
Well,
too.
and then some of them. So they captured what was supposed to be the big story of the White Six. It was the Righteous, the Hardys, and then the White Six members, including Bo Dallas. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I'm like, this should all be happening in WWE, but that's fucking cool.
But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just to understand.
It's weird to hear people in AEW give praise to Wyndham, and yet their actual stuff on TV proves that they didn't pay attention to anything he talked about.
Because here's the thing. Yes, I like I said, I will always defend Bray Wyatt as I'm about to say, there's still stuff there.
Yeah, don't sit on the picture.
It's fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's fine. She's a sweetheart. She understands. She's fucking gorgeous and will never marry me. Here's the thing:
yes, she is.
Bray Wyatt was actually a very good fucking wrestler.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
He was an excellent storyteller in the ring. He really was. I think Mark Calloway was like, to me, he was better than me. He's like, I would watch him and be like, wait, how the fuck did he get there from there and tell that story and get them fans to pop?
His
I don't
brain,
even know how he did it.
His brain, maybe sometimes to his own detriment, never stopped going to the next step.
I mean, Roman once said he was just like, I remember we discussed the match. He went, well, bro, how are we supposed to do that? He's like, when you're out there, you'll get it. And then when they did the spot, so the big spot he was talking about was the spear he did as Bray pointed, when they won the tag match.
Yeah.
There was a couple spots in that match that were cool like that. But basically told Roman, he's like, trust me, when we're out there, you're going to just sense it. He's like, just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But see, as I say, and I send my love to him, God rest his soul, the reason why all those people did what they did is because of the American dream.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes?
Him, the way he was a bad guy to begin with, but then when he became son of the plumber and connected with everybody.
I'm about to say, that guy was actually a very good wrestler.
He was a good good wrestler.
It's very forgotten how good he was as a wrestler.
He's a big guy, but he was
But
an
remember,
athlete, my God, was he so good.
But remember, why did he connect with an audience? He was a redneck
Yeah.
who came into money.
Yeah.
He was.
That is why he got over
He was a
in
common
those
man.
days.
There's a simple.
No. Hold
What
on.
is true?
Hold on. But remember, the beauty of wrestling is to always keep yourself slightly above the fans. He was a common man. He made everyone believe that because of his humble upbringing, but everyone still knew that's Dusty.
Right.
Everyone still saw him as Dusty.
It is kind of crazy that guy would go to raise two kids who became prolifically great wrestlers and characters.
But is that also
Yes.
why, Jesse? Is that also why I think people don't get? Because I mean, so many AEW fans now talk about it. I think there's this whole conversation. There's a reason why Dustin was never to the level of Cody and or his dad, though, because the natural doesn't normally translate to the spectacle, unfortunately.
Well, remember, and when he did Goldust,
Yeah.
of course, that was the big, that was the character everyone remembers him as, Goldust. And by the way, he says, I'm actually always grateful for doing that.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I actually learned a lot as a man doing that character. But it's one of those things where, he was so good.
Yeah.
He was so good. And I think it reminds me, sometimes I think about Rob Van Dam. So good, you get overlooked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So good, you kind of get forgotten. But his brother, I've always said, what Cody did, to me, like I said, it didn't click for me about Cody Rhodes until I saw him in Ring of Honor.
Yep.
And I remember watching him in Ring of Honor, I went, holy fuck, if Vince is not calling this guy in 2 years. It took longer than that.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, holy shit, Cody's getting it, and it's getting scary.
And
This dude's a top guy.
And by the way, another example as, guys, stop pretending that it's Triple H is doing the same thing Vince did, because Triple H will see it in guys,
Right.
and he'll try to get it out of them. He'll try to present it, and then you guys don't like it because, unfortunately, whether it's WWE or Sicko or whoever, you guys are already preconceiving yourself about the wrestlers before they even get a chance to tell the story.
Roman Reigns is I'll worry about that later. Roman Reigns is the biggest star on the planet in pro wrestling, especially right now. And it's because for 9 years, he was booked wrong.
Yep.
See, when I look at the Reynolds boys, older brother, he got the talent and all the skill that his dad had, and not all the charisma. Cody got a lot of the skill, but the charisma and the way he connects
Man,
with
I
people
disagree.
is just like his dad.
Well, the reason I disagree is because you can't do a Goldust character without charisma.
But at the same
but I think
But at the same time,
Cody
Jesse, I
had
think
that
what he's
more
saying is that
connection,
it
like
kind of
his dad to everybody. Like,
well, but Cody
my
definitely
daughter
came across
loves
as more of a
Cody.
main eventer.
Sure.
and and like me, growing up, Dusty, I love Dusty. There no way around it. No matter how I loved him to death. Of how he connected.
By the way,
with
I love that you brought up CM Punk, because I'm like, it's so ironic. I'm like, they hate Phil because of what happened in AEW.
Yep.
I'm like, people don't realize, I was always a big CM Punk, supporter, even though I was a big fan all the time. But I lost that not because of him doing the podcast, but because when I was listening to him, I went, it's not that you're wrong. You're going about everything the wrong way.
Yeah.
And by the way, yes, Vince did it years later where he admitted he was wrong in the situation.
Yeah.
But I still remember going, from what I understand about the situation, from what you're saying and what Vince isn't saying, Vince is the asshole here, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's so many ways you could go about this where I would support you more.
CM Punk is great, but then Phil, Pepsi
Phil can be an asshole,
was,
but
when he's doing,
But
yes.
bringing
Phil-
up CM Punk, because here's what I was getting to with
Phil, basically what Jesse's trying to say, and I'll let you elaborate, but I'm going to try to put it in layman's terms for 2 seconds. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Phil could have gone about it in a way that didn't bury some of the people whose fault it wasn't.
And by the way,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Seth took it super personal.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't like the fact that you're burying a whole company. If you go just after Vince, no fucking problem. If you would have sued just WWE and been like, I have no problem with the young talent coming up.
Yeah.
When I was working with them, I liked a lot of them, and he could have been like, God bless all of them, because he could have been like, I'm not trying to shut down the doors over there. I want the money. I'm old.
Yeah.
And because of him breaking down my body, and I think anyone would have been like, respect. I get it.
Yeah.
This even because by 2014, even fans were like, the WWE schedule's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
but
so,
to go after everybody down to catering, which is basically what Phil was doing for a
which
period
was
of time.
ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it made no
he's
sense.
apologized for it because he
yes.
understands in hindsight. I didn't go about it the right way. Me and Vince were angry men at each other at that point.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hear shit Paul of that guy to say. So
remember when Triple H talks about the first conversation when Nick asked him, "Would you talk to him?" Triple H said, "Well, yeah," because I think Hunter was confused as to why it'd be an issue. But then again, he was a different person than the Paul Levesque from from 10 years ago.
By the way, I said the same thing. Remember, we were talking about it. I'm like, well, and it doesn't feel like Philip is the same person he was. Years ago. So it's funny that they hate CM Punk, but I'm like, well, he's not the same guy. That's the same character it's always been.
Well, that's the part.
It's just an amalgamation of him.
That's the really funny part that I always laugh about.
But I thought you guys loved him.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
I love Pepsi Phil.
The part that bothers me the most about the Sickos is you guys claim to be the smartest. You guys claim to be, we knew all these guys 10, 15 years ago. Then why do you expect things from them that they've never done in their career? You guys sat there and thought that CM Punk was going to take all this backstage politicking, which has been proven 9 times to Sunday true. You guys thought he was just going to be like, okay, cool, thanks for... This is the part I always laugh at because the fans are like, they should be grateful for the Bucks for bringing him back. And I'm like, he never needed it.
By the way, it wasn't the Bucks that brought him back. It was Cody Rhodes.
But that's what these... Jesse, Cody did nothing in AEW. What are you talking about? The Bucks have told us 1,000 times it was all their idea.
Yeah.
The smarmy assholes that they are.
Yeah, no. If
You're
not,
being so nice about them. There.
If not for QB1 sitting down with him and then getting in a meeting with Tony Khan, CM Punk does not show up to AEW.
CM Punk doesn't go back to wrestling.
Correct.
Because, by the way, I give Phil credit for this because I'm this petty. He literally only went back to WWE for 2 reasons. Number 1, and the most basic, Nick Khan called him.
Correct.
And number 2, just to spite the other guys.
Yeah. He wanted to be petty about it.
That was the only reason he did it.
Well, and then, like he said, once I had the conversation with Paul, and, we are where we are in our lives, he went, God, we were such dicks to each other.
Yeah,
and it was, and even Paul.
We had that same conversation with Randy on camera.
Right. But and they're like, it's all good now, man. Like we were basically fucking young idiots 15, 20 years ago, all trying to be the best, and that's what.
And
happened.
also, by the way, I hate to say this because everyone thinks he's better than Vince McMahon. In lack of sexual allegations only, Tony Khan does the same thing Vince did to those guys. Tony Khan feeds off of and he feeds into the backstage bullshit that goes on. Tony Khan could have nipped everything in the butt that night before they all went home. He could have ended it and said, y'all are going home, and when you come back, y'all are going to forget this ever happened, or none of y'all will ever work here again. Because, by the way, CM Punk... CM Punk and Kenny were the only 2 people that Vince might have called when that was over.
Right.
The rest of you, Vince had no reason. Because here's the deal. Vince McMahon only offered the Bucks a contract, so they didn't go to AEW. If Vince McMahon would have got a phone call and found out that they were free agents, he goes, wait, not even Tony wanted them? Why the fuck do I want them now? They would have gone back to the Japanese tag division.
I was so happy when Kenny confirmed it on his own stream. He had the WWE contract for like 2 weeks. Vince offered him very good money to go there.
Jesse, can I also throw a little nugget in there? Main roster.
Yeah. No NXT, straight to main roster.
Because Kenny understood how to do the Vince style of things.
Mm-hmm. I told him, had he shown up, I think Jim Cornette would have been like, well, where the fuck was this guy?
Funny story. Jim actually said that when he watched Ospreay versus Kenny in Japan. Because, well, no, he still doesn't like Kenny's version of wrestling, but he said Kenny at least seemed motivated.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in a lot of AEW, Kenny's just been kind of going through the motions.
Well, that's clear.
But it's like the one thing I don't understand about modern wrestling is what we got to see over the weekend was great stories, culmination of great stories. They did a lot of behind the curtain stuff because obviously Unreal just dropped. You've got Chad Gable's vlog journey to WrestleMania. You've got the story he told with Penta throughout the whole match. There didn't need to be a babyface or a heel in this situation because Penta, despite being a masked wrestler, was able to emote that he didn't want to do this in front of Chad's family.
Yes.
He apologized multiple times before kicking him in the fucking face. You got Roman and Seth, who took 15 years of reminders. Everything they did served a purpose. But that's not real wrestling, even though what we remember about wrestling was Hogan slamming Andre, which up until that point, Vince made you not realize had never happened. It had, but Vince made you realize it hadn't. He told you it hadn't. It was Warrior doing whatever the fuck it was he was doing. I still don't have a word for it other than Warrior.
Being a warrior, running out,
but
gassing himself out.
But
in 5
remember,
minutes.
you will always tell people, Leroy, Steamboat and Savage.
Oh my God.
What a match. But Steamboat was never Hogan. Savage was Savage. But Savage and Steamboat was never going to get fans to remember the way that Hogan and Savage got them to remember.
Yes.
1 + 1 didn't equal 2. It equaled 3. And unfortunately, 3 didn't fit the math.
Yeah, I think diehard wrestling fans like we are.
Yeah.
We're going to remember Steamboat
and Savage
and 3 because
yeah.
his half a notebook details of exactly how he wanted to run that match with Steamboat, which is like you sit back and you listen to Steamboat talk about like, everything he did, they did that.
But,
and they told a fucking story.
But even the sickos who love wrestling, they remember Hogan. They remember Hogan and Savage, not Savage and Steamboat.
I remember him, George Amos Steele with him.
It's interesting. The average WWE fan doesn't remember Bret Hart the way that Bret Hart wants them to remember him. They remember him the way that Vince told you to think about Bret.
Yeah,
Bret Hart is, without a doubt, one of the greatest technical minds in the history of the business. No one's going to deny that. But what people who are average fans, not us, not the sickos, not the diehard type people, but the average fan remembers the sunglasses, the guitar lick, they remember the pink, they remember the Hart Foundation. They don't remember how good Bret was in between bells. The technical people like us remember those matches and go, wow. But Bret was never going to fit in. Bret was a square peg trying to fit into a round hole, whereas Hogan was the absolute perfect peg. And so was Shawn.
Yes.
Because Shawn emoted. Shawn got you yes, many times he overdid it, but no one cared because we were entertained.
Yeah.
So as we get into the card of SummerSlam here in a couple of minutes, it's just the understanding of if you didn't like the show because it's not, quote, real wrestling, you don't know what real wrestling is or has ever been.
See, Bret Hart, when he learned from his dad and everything like that, his story is more in between the ropes is what he's going to do. He had to learn how to do the promo style like WWE like they do. He learned. So eventually, he did get it eventually.
Well, yeah.
And he could talk.
Yeah.
Oh, he could talk. But he was never that flamboyant like Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Never. Total opposite
And
of
that's
Shawn
why
Michaels.
I've always said, if you want to talk about the better technical wrestler, I think Brett's got a slight edge to Shawn.
Yes.
But if you want to talk about who the best wrestler of all time was between the two of them, if you're talking about real wrestling, which is the ability to get people to believe in you, it's still Shawn.
It is. Shawn is the GOAT.
And it's always going to be Shawn over Brett, because Brett thought that wrestling should always be sports-based, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you were doing it in a company that was never built on sports-based.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay to have it mix in with everything
Yeah.
else, because there still is some wrestlers
But
now
to be jealous of
that are
Shawn
like that.
never made it. Now, to be mad at Shawn for being a dick, I totally get.
Yes.
Everyone understands. But
he
to
was
be,
kind of a dick back then when he was.
But to be professionally mad at Shawn, because and honestly, I think a lot of it comes from jealousy, in that, not in that Shawn was better than Brett, but that Shawn got over more than Brett in the place they were both at.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
And I think so. And I think also there's probably some outside influences that were in Brett's ear and what he heard from her. And that probably didn't help the fact and the animosity between the two of them.
Because I think that you and I both will agree, love or hate each other in real life, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, wrestling soulmates.
Yes.
Absolute perfection when they were in the ring together.
Because they were fine when they first started, and then that rift happened.
Yeah.
But as we know and we hear from everything, everybody was fighting to be number one.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold's podcast, when he has those guys on there, we're fighting for the number one
Yeah.
spot. Are they friends now? Yeah.
But it's
because
also
they knew and they got older and say, yeah, we were fighting to be number one then. Now we don't have to.
And that's the biggest thing, is that I feel like Brett wanted the purity of the sport, and yet the purity of the sport never existed in WWF, but that's where you wanted to go because that was the biggest place in the world. Brett,
it was the biggest place to show.
I understand
your
it was
talent.
the only place to really make that kind of money,
Yeah.
but I feel like Brett could have gone other places if he didn't like the WWE style, but he stayed because it was the best place to do business. But then you have to understand and accept who you're doing business with, and that is Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. was an entertainment booker. He was never a wrestling promoter.
Mm-hmm.
He never wanted that.
And when he was getting up, all these small territories and everything around were drying up and being
Well, that was the other thing. I think
the only place he could go was Japan.
Yeah.
And Canada was pretty much fine because they had their own things going up.
Well,
there.
but the money wasn't as good.
It wasn't good. But Japan was the only other place he could go, and he did go there because of WWE.
Yeah.
And stuff. And the only other place he could do was Mexico.
Well, and then for Brett, the only other place was WCW, but then he got down there, and unfortunately, due to some issues with Goldberg, I think overall the unprofessionalness and the shark-infested waters and the inability of Eric to actually control the asylum, because Vince was always in control of the asylum.
Yes.
Vince, if you actually fucked up, he would have fired you in a heartbeat and made another star.
Or did what he did to Triple H. Couldn't fire those guys, but I'm going to shit on you
Yeah.
and shit on him for years.
Yeah.
He would do that. Yeah,
Because I feel like Triple H wouldn't have taken as much heat if Hall and Nash could have fully been fired by Vince, but they
Yes.
were already on their way out, so there was nothing Vince could do. They didn't work there anymore, and he couldn't touch Shawn because he was the champ.
Yeah, and if WCW would have had that,
Yeah.
Brett down there would have been great.
Well,
I think he would have been really
I
good
don't
down
know
there.
if what you and I are talking about changes the impact of Goldberg kicking him in the face, but
hopefully that may not have happened.
I also don't know if Brett and Goldberg would have been interacting if the place was run properly.
Probably not.
Not because of the backstage animosity, but because Brett would have been doing other things. He would have been doing, I don't know, main event adjacent things. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. And if they would have done something together, I think he would have sat down with him and said, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And told him, hey, this is what we're going to do. Don't do this, don't do this. And it would have been fine. I think they would have probably put on a good match. if it was...
Well, to quote Goldberg, which Jesse was finally happy about, he said this like I think that's like 4 or 5 years ago now. Didn't know how to wrestle.
Yeah. And Brett would have, like, somebody that knows how to wrestle to carry him and to lead him the way it should be.
Yeah.
Because that's what Brett could do.
Right.
That's what William Regal was doing to Goldberg and actually showed him he can't do shit.
Hey, emotionally, William Regal will always be Jesse's favorite wrestler because
he's a man's man?
No, because he exposed the fact that Bill Goldberg didn't know how to wrestle out of a paper bag.
I watched a little clip of
Jesse telling me facts from the bathroom here, folks.
But I was just going through some friggin' reels. All of a sudden, boom! It popped up when Daniel Bryan was wrestling him, and Regal came out, and his music came out, and all of a sudden they played his old "He's a Man's Man" song, and both of them are busting out laughing because that was awesome. I mean, that was a good way to rib Regal for that, you know.
But it's just while we wait on Jesse to come back before we get to SummerSlam, Leroy, we don't all, sometimes we reference it, but when you watched AWA, NWA, the people you remember are the characters, not the guys who went out there and in the hour of wrestling you watched, it would start out with the characters and then their match would be in the last 15 minutes of the show. But in the middle 30, those aren't necessarily always the guys you remember, but you remember the guys who started the show, built to the main event, and then had the main event. Characters have always been what captivated people, even back in those days.
Oh, yeah, like Baron von Raschke. We had the Russians.
There was always a Russian. There was always a Russian.
Well, Nikolai down there. But then also, I got connected with, Vern and Greg Gagne. They were local boys. They were from our home state and our hometown area. I mean, that. Of course, Andre, showed up there. Hogan was there back in the day, too.
Yeah.
Even the Sheik ran through.
Yeah.
And of course, the Nature Boy, he was there. I mean, them were...
Well, okay, let's talk about that for like 2 seconds here. Ric Flair was always captivating back in the day.
Oh, yes.
Because ultimately, the character Ric Flair made you want him to lose, or if you were like someone like Jesse who always liked the heels as well, you wanted to be him.
Oh, you wanted him to lose, but you wanted to be him because he had the suits, he had the jewelry, he had the ladies.
The jets.
And the jets, of course, you wanted to say, ladies, he may be Space Mountain, but I got a better Space Mountain than him. Yeah, you did.
And that's kind of the thing, is that Vince got a little weird in the late 80s, the early 90s. No one's going to deny that.
The gimmicks and different things he had.
The Repo Man, the Trash Man. It got to
Skinner.
be... Right, yeah. Yeah. I mean...
The gobbledygook, I think that was his too.
Yep, that was there.
And I'm so glad Undertaker was so worried. I love that. He was worried that he was going to be Eggman.
Right. But then when you got to... when you ended up with WCW getting a little more 90s, edgy, they were bringing in these, badass guys and this and that. All of a sudden, Vince was like...
Well, they didn't have those gimmicky, weird characters. They actually had regular guys, and it's like, oh, shit.
It was guys...
I got to change something.
It was guys who were mad at each other for guys' reasons to be mad at each other.
Yeah.
There, it's like, even though he lives here in town and we love him, the Goon wasn't coming out on WCW television, and then obviously the cruiserweights were a big deal.
God, yes, the cruiserweights back then. Oh my God, they were awesome.
But also the cruiserweights were kind of just given this time on WCW to just go be entertaining, and then they were.
Yeah, and if everybody's like, "Oh, I want that back again," watch AAA.
Yeah,
it's exactly what the
cruiserweights
were.
Hey man, this year's Triple Mania, I promise you, will be
Two
nights, and they've moved the first show from LA to Vegas because of the demand for tickets. Now that's going to be filling up the MGM Grand Arena.
Yeah, because it's going to be on a Friday night, and then night 2. It's going to be on a Friday.
Is the 11th a Friday?
Yeah,
it's September 11th and September.
No, it's not. Well, I thought it was later in the month than that.
No, September 11th is the first night.
All right. Yeah, it's a Friday and a Sunday because they're having that boxing match in Vegas that they're promoting.
Triple Mania is going to be September 11th. Friday. Okay, yep, you're correct. And then that Sunday is September
in Mexico.
13th.
But yeah, they're having that big boxing match that they've been promoting and putting on WWE a little bit.
Yeah,
that's going to be in between the two.
Right. But yeah, anyway, okay, so
God, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're going to get in here and we're going to get right to it. Leroy, why don't you just go ahead and start us off night 1 of WrestleMania? We'll get Jesse in here when we can.
And you know what? And one thing I liked about this SummerSlam and the way they're doing it, they started our time at 5:00. They were done before by 9ish.
Yeah.
You know, it was like 9:00. Well, you could still go into the bar and have a beer or whatever with the boys if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Or like me, you just go to bed early and take a nap. I'm getting old.
You're getting old. All right.
I know.
Anyway,
you're starting to feel it too. Ha ha ha.
Night 1.
Night 1. It started out with the Women's World Championship match with Liv Morgan defeating Io Sky by pinfall.
It's weird
with a little help from her friends. And Judgment Day, of course.
I guess it's weird to me. I didn't see this. Was it SI or Bleacher Report gave it like a C+?
I don't think so. I don't know. You'd have to look that up.
I don't remember hating on this match as much as the internet did.
No, it was 13 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It highlighted how Io is.
Well, obviously they're not ready for Liv to lose right now, and I think that especially with Raquel just winning the Intercontinental Championship, there's no point in necessarily breaking the women away from the Judgment Day yet. The men, I don't know right now because obviously we don't really know what because they seem to just be absolutely not on the right side of victories. But the women are thriving. So I don't know where the Judgment Day is really going right now. We'll talk about that after the show. But for me, the biggest thing for me about this match was I think the ending was just I think it was just that I didn't want the ending, but again, you don't always get what you want, and that's fine.
That's true. Yeah, I think we were all pulling for Io.
But I don't remember the match being a C+ level match.
No, it was a wonderful match.
I thought it was well done. And the other thing for me is being someone who enjoys the craft itself. Yeah, Liv is not technically going to put on a match with Io the likes of what, Asuka would. But she's also supposed to be a bitch. She's supposed to be a heel. She's supposed to cheat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think they are setting up because Stephanie has not back. To be clear, she's not back yet.
No, yeah.
They're buying their time to get the right story for that. But I know that just might be her next. I also
think that the way that the fans have turned towards Io in this past year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the loss necessarily hurts Io Sky.
No.
I think I'm not saying Io's untouchable, but I think she can. I think she can take this loss and still be okay.
The last 2 times that she fought Liv, she won.
Yeah.
She wrestled. So 2 wins.
Yep.
And now she has 1 loss.
Yep.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, now for the women for the Judgment Day, Liv's still the world champ.
Yeah.
Raquel has a much deserved IC champ. I think she'll be great for a while. She might have another match with Sol Ruca coming up, maybe.
That's the thing.
And that'd be good.
Well, that's the thing. Definitely, I think what people got to understand is that taking the belt off of Sol doesn't mean they're done with her. It means, okay, you have a connection. Okay, you can hold a title. Now we're going to move you up. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to go up.
And then what are we doing with Roxanne Perez, too?
Well, that's the other thing.
That's going to be the interesting thing, what they do with her, because the seeds of her stabbing one of the two in the back.
Well, that's
are
the other
there.
thing, is that I think we're going to get to see very quickly, because Jesse talked about this a lot early on. She's such a natural baby face. I think that it's time to really get Roxanne away from the Judgment Day, let her go on this face run, because you really get to see her shine when she's that bubbly personality. Now, she did great heel work in NXT. I'm not going to take that away from her.
She is doing great heel work.
But she definitely is someone that I think very sooner rather than later is going to be a top division person. She's going to be in that mix a lot.
And she did learn from a great teacher,
Oh,
Booker
yeah.
T.
Yeah.
I mean, he praises about her all the time, and he should,
a
because
six-time world champion.
damn right. Love that guy.
Next
All right.
match.
Next match is the six-man tag with LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys getting the win over the Bloodline.
Solo Sikoa is the equivalent, and okay, I'm going to say this, but I'm not putting them on the same level.
Okay.
What is it about the Samoan guys and being poorly booked by Vince, and then they get away from Vince booking, and oh my God, they're just fucking like no, like Jesse said earlier, the big dog, tribal chief, wow. Solo Sikoa, the enforcer, he's great.
I think Vince has his idea and his typecast about Samoans and the way they should be. I think that's probably his issue.
Yeah.
But with Triple H, he looks at him and says, "Be you."
Well, what's hilarious
And
to
it
me,
works.
what's hilarious to me is like it actually was referenced towards the end, and they showed it. This six-man tag is all kind of a mini brainchild of Solo.
Yeah.
He was kind of the whole reason for this whole match.
He was. He
But
got his
But because of
partners
LA's
together with
stardom, it seemed like it was LA Knight taking on the Bloodline, and he needed backup. In reality, Solo's the one that put this whole thing together.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, because he goes, "Yeah, you need me, I need you. Let's get. Hey, we don't like these guys.
Yeah.
Let's go get them."
Yeah.
Yes, it was his idea, and yeah, kind of presented was like, "Oh, it's LA Knight and his team. It's Solo behind." And
Yeah.
I love his. Let's roll it
Yeah.
back.
But that's just it. That's just it.
That was awesome.
I think whether it was the Street Champ, which I think was really good, but then there was the Enforcer, which again he did okay at. There is a Solo Sikoa to me could become, and this is big praise, I'm going to be honest with you. He could become Umaga, but the ability to not need a manager.
Yeah. As I said, it's good to see wrestlers when they first start and see them evolve and get better and do other things than we normally see them do.
Sure.
Solo has done that. He's been
Jesse's been Solo's almost number one fan for the last couple of months now.
Oh, I loved him when he first started NXT.
Give that bathroom a few minutes. It's going to be like AEW All-In's main event. Here's the thing.
So I go in there, I have to hold my breath, huh?
It's a shitty proposition.
No pun intended. Wait a minute.
So
Totally
you guys,
intended.
I believe you guys are on the Solo Sikoa match.
Yes.
And, quick thoughts on the first two really quick. Go through the first
That
two.
was Liv and Io.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. I did think the best of their three matches so far.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing, you and Mark, I was wrong.
Well,
I was dead ass wrong.
The only thing that Leroy and I said about this match was we don't get where the internet had so much hate for it.
There was some who did, because
it got a C+ from, I think it was Bleacher Report.
Here's the thing.
There it is.
I can't believe I'm saying this because for a while I kind of disagreed with Jericho's main position on this, but I'm not going to lie. As someone who now reviews it and stuff,
Yeah.
fans knowing about botching is one of the worst things to happen because, okay, it wasn't clean.
Yeah.
but can you still not enjoy it because it wasn't clean?
Well, that's like people want to bring
because
down.
I keep seeing Dave Meltzer give 5 stars on AEW television, and a lot of that's not clean.
Yeah.
So
well, that's like people want to give Nick all this crap for like slipping, getting to the top rope, and I'm just like, guy hasn't done this in 3 years. Number one,
guy looks fucking great,
and number two, the adrenaline's gonna be a bitch.
He looked fucking.
But
phenomenal.
anyway, so okay, but yeah, no. Back to
And then what was the match right after that?
the 6-man.
Okay, which is what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
now. First of all, Solo Sikoa is an absolute revelation.
He really is.
It sounds like WWE
Yeah.
pivoted. So it sounds like the heels were supposed to win.
Yeah.
And because of his current babyface run, Triple H is like, let's ride this momentum. Like, he's killing it right now.
And that's the thing. They ended like okay, LA got the pin, like you
Right,
said earlier.
right.
But the match ended with everyone being reminded, like I said, this match was kind of a Solo Sikoa idea.
In a way. So it's based off of issues with the bloodline.
Yeah.
And there's 2 guys that have big issues with the bloodline. Now, one with Roman Reigns. It'll be interesting to see if we get to that now when it comes to LA Knight. But
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa.
Do you think LA takes the belt off and then Roman goes and does Rock?
There's a good chance. But I do want to say this too, really quick, when it comes to Solo Sikoa. Dude, be proud of yourself. Clearly, your brothers are proud of you. If you watch that promo on Raw, they're clearly very proud of him. The guy's going to be a superstar.
Now, was I too high with the praise in saying he'll be a much more talkative Umaga?
See, you said Umaga. I think that's not the heap of praise I would put on him.
Yeah.
You wanted The Rock's possible replacement? I think we found it.
Oh, wow.
He's
really?
been that good. I don't know if people realize, like, one of the funniest things I saw come out of Minneapolis this week is he comes out to get ready to do, some signings and stuff. And this woman just keeps screaming, Solo, marry me. And, of course, in the past, he would have did the heel thing and stuff. But, like, at first he thought about it, and he just went and hugged her. He did the photo. And, like, he was just so cool with all the fans. And then when they interviewed him later, the media, he said, this has kind of been, it's been new to me. But he's like, I really like what's going on with my career. I really enjoy what I'm doing. So, listen, Solo, I was wrong about him. I always thought he would probably just be Umaga who could cut promos.
Yeah.
Nah, he could probably reach The Rock's potential at this point.
Okay.
At this point.
Yeah. Bleacher
Report.
did give Liv
and
a
they
C+.
gave it a C.
Yeah.
I think Dave gave it, because I just saw that, I think Dave gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Don't care.
Whatever.
Dave Meltzer is literally sitting there talking about the attendance, this, that, yada, yada. Dave, your own co-host is literally, when you talk about AEW these days, ripping his hair out at the way that you do things. So when your own co-host is no longer drinking the Kool-Aid, I can't take you seriously.
And listen, when the WWE fans do it at the end of the month, it's going to be fair. Because yes, we brought this up 2 weeks ago. I said WWE did such a piss poor job, including with the ticket prices, that you didn't sell as much as you could have.
And by the way, if you had just done these prices 4 months ago,
you would have sold most of the stadium.
You would have had to open the stadium more, make the stage smaller, because you could have sold that fucking stadium out.
But your tickets were too pricey.
I really hope that Minnesota, because we didn't get Mania, hopefully we're able to make a dent in the wrestling world. I want Minnesota's legacy right now in wrestling to be, we hopefully are the ones that told TKO, look, we are not a state that people travel to, but we'll fill it up. But we're also not going to pay this.
Because what was the final numbers in the end? Because they got a lot of
35 and 38.
So like I told people, I'm like, they actually sold a shit ton of tickets this last week.
Yeah.
The only reason they didn't sell one to me was because I didn't have my car finished completely.
Yeah.
But like,
they were in the 20,000 tickets.
Yeah.
The week before.
Yeah.
But so that's what I'm saying. Like the last week, they sold because they finally lowered the fucking prices.
It was about 10,000 tickets.
And by the way, on Wrestling Observer Radio, they talked about I don't remember a stadium show where they never announced the attendance. I'm like, I bet you Tony ain't going to have the balls to announce the attendance at All In.
I dare him.
At a 90,000 person arena?
Right now, they're not even going to fill it up a third.
Yeah.
But,
I haven't seen. I have to look for the latest numbers on that.
And by the way, Tony, it's going to sound like a fucking fly on a wall in that fucking place because that's a big... You can't soundproof Wembley.
Also, about to say, because
you can't.
Because it's partly open air, unlike the state, unlike U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, people keep showing...
By the way, I will say this. Because we got to go to a Vikings game this year somehow.
Oh, yes.
That sun coming through that stadium.
Is it not a gorgeous look?
Okay.
I see why they keep winning at home but not in the playoffs. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
But that stadium is they should really be like fans. I know the NFL prices are this, but we're going to lower it.
Yeah.
Because without you, we wouldn't have been able to build this bitch. So
as I said before,
which is why I tell them, you want to sell more stadium? Why is Amon Amarth not playing a fucking Vikings?
I think if the Vikings won the Super Bowl, they would do it because it would just make all the sense in the world.
I mean, like me, I was playing
Roman
football one day.
Roman said it. Roman said it at the end of the match. Go win a Super Bowl now, boys. He said that to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
But I was playing Madden football the day before, and the next day I was down walking in to that stadium, and I saw it for the live. Seeing it in the video game is awesome, but seeing it in person, it's like, oh my God. See, and Kathy was like, do you need a moment alone? I said, I might need a moment alone, but oh my God.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, because I'm watching this match. And yes, the hard camera side was incredibly empty, which is unfortunate, but that's WWE's fault for those high ticket prices.
Yep.
But what I'm getting at is this: it's also one of those things where I'm watching it and I'm like, this stadium, this could be out. And I haven't been to SoFi yet as well.
Yeah.
But these might be the two best stadiums on the
But all I'm
planet.
saying is this: we also need to make something very clear. WWE doesn't need to downsize.
By the way, SoFi, for those who don't know,
yeah,
I keep telling them, like, it's actually underground.
Yep.
So, like, the top of the stadium that you see are your top seats.
Yeah.
The stadium's underground.
But that's the thing people got to understand. WWE doesn't need to downsize their venues. They need to just downsize the tickets. Because I look at everyone and I tell you, I'm sorry, I like to think of Minnesota a little bit like Europe when it comes to wrestling. If it was $35 6.5 months ago, fuck it, I would have booked both nights.
So I believe.
Yes, I would have.
I believe it's the Philly show. There were some people who told me the Philly show, like the $75, like people would pay to kind of sit near the floor at that point for the SummerSlam show.
Yeah.
That for that Philly show. That was the price the whole time to get in the middle of that stadium.
See,
I'm like, then you got to do that more often, man.
This is what bothers me about TKO. It's all greed. I try to explain to people. Capitalism is not the thing you should be mad at, because Jesse and I will both stand up here and say we are proud capitalists. Capitalism is a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, the people at the top are just that much greedy.
They're greedy.
In the end, capitalism is the only economic structure on the planet that allows growth, innovation, and people to actually succeed. The only problem that you have is not the system of economics,
it's people abusing
but the people that abuse it. I try to explain to people, fucking Mondani is a capitalist.
He is.
He is a capitalist born and bred. But the thing about it is that socialism is actually closer to fascism than fucking capitalism is. People don't get that, but if you define things, it's weird. But capitalism is very simple. You would have still made money with the papers or with the subscriptions, with the advertising, with the this, with the that, with the everything. If you had just sold 30,000 more tickets at $35 a pop, the concessions, everything else, the merch, it all would have been different. I try to explain to people, WrestleMania 40 made $1 billion, but the ticket prices were nowhere near what TKO flipped it into the last year.
I want people to remember, before we go to the next match, I want people to remember, it was also so successful because they literally had to keep that little convention they were doing 2 extra days because they were making so much money.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep it affordable,
Wait a second.
people
Wait
will
a second.
go.
Wait a second. I can make money, but the show's over, and all the stars have left, but I'm still making money.
They
on
were
something?
still making money.
What the hell? Greed will kill success.
Oh,
Beyond.
yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, because Jesse and I.
And by the way, to the sickos, it's not friendly pricing because he wants the families there. He's lying to you. And
Yeah.
You're just stupid enough to believe it.
It's friendly pricing because
No one wants to fucking go.
Now, Jesse, you and I once again always lean back on this whole music reference
Yeah.
stuff. Jesse, whether it was drug induced, alcohol induced, whatever, the greed of so many members of famous bands ultimately killed most band success. And that's the thing about
the greed of the record labels.
yeah. And again, I always try to tell people, you think your modern artist is the quote unquote, I fight the establishment, I put my stuff out on SoundCloud, and then I get this, I get that, and I got record labels calling me. There was a little band called Pearl Jam who signed a really shitty contract. And then all of a sudden, their first record was fucking huge. And then they went back to the record label and said, yeah, nah, we ain't doing this deal again. And by the way, Jesse's tried to explain to people for years. You want the definition of how to run your career? They're the example.
They are the example.
They became icons, literal icons.
Yeah.
And they never did anything they didn't want to do except for the first record, but no one knew who they were.
Right.
All of a sudden, but Jesse, you've always said, Eddie used to, still went off, did a bunch of other stuff. He always has projects going on. But he always comes back to the band that always every member had the same goal. It was never about greed.
Right.
They never wanted to do it they never wanted to be millionaires. They just wanted to play, but they got to be millionaires because they still did it their way.
Right.
There is a way to success that doesn't involve greed, and every member of Pearl Jam, and by the way, I've heard a lot of stories about every guy. Good dudes.
Yeah.
Great guys. They're not greedy. They're happy with the success they've had, and that's why they've been able to last 30 years.
Right.
But they didn't want to price their own fans out. They didn't want to do it the record label's way.
Correct.
So they looked at the record label and said, okay, I guess we're doing it ourselves.
Because they were like, okay, as long as we can just fund our own production, clearly, and by the way, they were the first band to be like, outside of Prince, who said, you know what, fuck Ticketmaster. Because they were like, I know my name sells.
Oh, yeah.
There's an old, and then we can go to the next match. There's an old interview with Prince who's breaking it down, talking about, because they asked him about Mariah Carey's terrible contract or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been trying to explain this to you guys for 10 years. And then he broke it down.
Yeah.
He was like, for years, I didn't realize on my old record deals, I was making 10 cents to $1.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I looked at my sales and I went, fuck them. So that's why in his house, he opened the studio, all that shit.
I know you want to
like,
go on.
I want to, but basically, all I'm getting at is, the market dictates what you can do, and if you're smart about the market, you're going to make your money.
The modern equivalent of that, whether people believe it or not, was what Sleep Token did with their first U.S. tour. They used Ticketmaster, but they used Ticketmaster to their advantage. They knew that they were going to pack the arena with fans,
Right.
not with people that were scalping. So what they did was the tickets were a little more expensive because they used dynamic ticket pricing. But the caveat was the people that were going to pay for it were going to be fans because you weren't allowed to scalp.
Right.
You couldn't scalp with dynamic ticket pricing because the only way that you were going to be able to sell the ticket. That's why people going on TikTok weeks before the shows saying, I got these tickets if you want to go on this date. It's like you literally can't do that.
Right.
Now, yes, some of them were jokes, but the majority of people that were trying to sell their tickets, it's like, you are only allowed to sell them back to Ticketmaster for an exact refund. An exact refund. They still packed every arena.
Yeah.
They still sold every ounce of merch they brought. And they didn't make a ton of money despite what people heard them making $1.6 million a show because you had 4 members of the band. You had 3 girls standing up there. You had all their production. They didn't make a ton of money on that tour.
I tell people,
Slipknot don't make a lot of money.
And we'll go to. Well, they do now.
Well, yeah, now they
because
do.
they own like their own festival.
Yeah.
And before we go to the next match, they didn't probably keep as much because when you decide you want to put on that large of a show, like if we went live and I have to pay 100 production people, I didn't make as much money.
Yeah. So basically what we're getting at is the band wasn't greedy using Ticketmaster.
Right.
The band, but the band also used Ticketmaster because of this. You talk about Pearl Jam.
Well, their first time in America.
It wasn't their first. It was their first headlining show. So like,
and I think over here they are signed to a label for over here.
RCA.
So yeah, so they kind of had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I bet you when they try to do it again, I would think because the last album did so well,
it was number one album. It was number one album in the world.
That they're going to be able to probably buy themselves out of whatever contract they have with RCA.
Well, but remember, they signed that mostly for distribution.
Well, right.
No one, again, in the music industry, they kind of do the opposite of what TKO does. When you find a band that you look at sideways and go, okay, why is this working? You don't tell them to change because it's working.
Not anymore, they don't.
Well, yeah, no,
Because now
because
now you got the Taylor Swifts of the world who's like, I'll just buy my shit.
Yeah.
And it works.
Also, by the way, I would love for any record executive, I use that term loosely because they don't really exist anymore, but I would love for a label rep to walk into a studio and look at Sleep Token and try to explain them to themselves.
Because they're still mostly independent, especially over in Europe. So.
Yeah. But anyway, next match.
Next match, we had Gunther defeating Nick Aldis, the natural.
This match made me cry because of two reasons. Number one, it was actually a great match. From the technical side of things, chef's kiss. Second of all, because myself was like, holy shit, I actually got to sit down with this man for 10 minutes.
He got to come out to What's the Story Morning Glory.
Yeah, he did.
And Triple H talked about it. He was like, we asked him, what do you want to come out to? He mentioned the song. Triple H
totally didn't think he'd get it.
Right. He's like, maybe. I don't think we can afford it. They reached out to Oasis. They got the price. And he went, oh, this is doable.
But then again, despite what America thinks, one more musical tangent because this is actually true. Despite what America thinks, because it's just Wonderwall, they're huge in Europe. They're fucking gods.
Technically, I mean, listen, those two albums went like triple platinum here in the States. So
no.
They're remembered quite well here.
Well, yeah, but remember, people always think in America, unfortunately, they're like, whatever happened to that band? Yeah, there's this guy named Psy. Maybe you've heard of him. He did a little song called Gangnam Style. The man doesn't get out of bed for less than 60,000 people in Korea right now. So his career didn't end as a one-hit wonder just because America doesn't put him on the charts anymore.
Well, it didn't end here either if he decided to do festivals.
That's true. That's true.
First of all, the match was great. I almost cried when he came out to What's the Story Morning Glory.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And then when she announced him as a national treasure, I just about damn near cried.
Yeah.
He looked fucking great.
Yeah.
I know the next night he was kind of back as SmackDown GM.
No, he is back as SmackDown GM.
Yeah, he is.
I am wondering because it didn't feel like it was a one-off, but they kind of left it ambiguous.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's not a one-off. What it is now you have to take somebody. And by the way, Triple H said it. By the way, this was actually one of Triple H's better post-pressers. He actually maybe just gave the correct answers and then shut up. But no, he said a line that had nothing to do with Nick, but I think relates back to what Nick's future is. Hey, you want to be that guy? Go and take it. So now, who's the next heel on SmackDown that's going to not care that they know that Nick can go, but who's going to get there? Who's going to create a Gunther-like presence and character to be like, fuck it, I know you can go. Let's do it either way.
I'm thinking, because I told people, I'm thinking the next one, depending on how the Cody stuff goes, I would think it would have to be Randy Orton.
Well, that's my whole thing, is that Nick is not going to, okay.
Which, by the way, that match can happen at 9 a.m. I'm getting up for it. Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis. I will be awake, ready to watch that match.
I'll be awake at 5 a.m. What are you talking about?
I agree with you. I mean, I said we were lucky enough to meet him and talk with him, but then actually later on that night, see him wrestle live right in front of us.
Which,
Wow.
Which, by the way, folks, we're just going to get 2 plugs out of the way right then and there. Please go to our YouTube page, 13
Yes.
Card Subject Change Podcast LLC. And also, we're going to stop here for our friends at BetterHelp. But that's the thing, Jesse. I think that you've got a scenario in which Nick is not going to. I mean, I know you hate this because of what Bruce does.
Yeah.
Nick is an attraction, and they know that, and they're going to stick with that.
Right.
Right now, Triple H is trying to figure out who is going to get over on SmackDown as a Gunter-level heel and force all this back into doing this.
I know some people now are like salivating at the thought, especially once Cody does go heel. Because there are people like myself and you who remember that match from NWA.
Remember it? I watched it this morning.
It's one of the best matches you'll ever watch.
Oh my God, yes.
And if you're a fan of old school wrestling, like Leroy, go watch that match. It is so fucking good.
Watch anything with Nick Aldis is awesome.
Him and Cody Rhodes created a masterpiece, and
Yes.
But I want to
only
say
like
this.
40,000 people saw it.
But I want to say this to the internet. Nick Aldis is also a professional.
Yeah.
That's why he came to WWE and said, I'll do anything because this is my dream. Even at his age, even with his success, he still wanted to do this. So they gave him a role. Triple H said, it's all we got right now. He said, I'll do it. Guys, I know what they built. I know what they set up, and I know what our hearts wanted. From a business perspective, there was literally zero, and I don't say that as an analyst. I don't say that as someone trying to make the internet. There was 0 sense to him beating Gunter.
No, and I said it. I'm like,
from a business perspective,
unless you're gonna keep him as an active wrestler
Yes.
and continue this,
Yeah.
there was no need to have
So
him.
based on the results afterwards, which is Triple H tore up the letter of resignation, which was a folded up piece of paper from a printer down the hall, and then the next night, it is clear that, guys, he was gonna do what was best for business. But remember, he also has a wrestler wife who also understands the business. Hall of fucking Famer.
I thought that was beautiful. That
Can I just say
her
this?
and the kid got
Nick,
married.
His wife and his son?
Nick
Oh,
Aldis doesn't think that his one shot in WWE was a failure because he lost. He would have thought it would have been a failure if Gunter would have wiped the floor with him, if he would have tripped a
It would have been a
bunch, this and
failure
that.
probably to him if no one cared.
Right.
Minnesota clearly fucking cared.
Hey man, if you don't,
we
you don't
love
piss
him.
us off with bad pricing, we're the best wrestling state in the union. Go fuck yourselves.
Definitely one of them.
I'll put us up against anybody. I don't
Yeah,
give a fuck.
definitely one of them.
Nick Aldis is much.
Because by the way,
loved
the
here.
night 2 fandom was a lot. It was a lot better than the night 1 for a reason. Everything on night 2 was stronger.
Yeah.
Now the reason this got such a reaction is because, by the way, there's a lot of Minnesota fans there that are also involved in the independent scene around here.
Yeah.
And Nick Aldis was very involved in that,
Yeah.
so they know who he is.
Oh yeah, he's many
look
times
up-
he's been here.
Go look
A
up
lot.
Nick Aldis versus Stephen Bonner. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Great match.
Oh, that was awesome.
Next match.
All right, next match was another 6-woman tag match. It was Fatal Influence beating the Bella Twins and Paige.
I have some thoughts.
Correct.
I will let you go first.
Correct results. You hurt. One Bella returns, the other one dies. And
then
also, guys, look, I'm gonna just
We
say
knew it was gonna happen.
from a business perspective. Despite the fact that it feels like she's a veteran from a days gone by, Paige is only 33. She's still younger than half the fucking main event roster.
Go ahead real quick, Leroy.
well, at the end,
So I'm going to go off.
the Bellas took out Paige and blamed her for everything. And one had to go to a local hospital to get her shoulder reviewed.
She might be out 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
Really quick.
Shoulder injury, yes.
Minnesota, you should be fucking thrilled I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Especially the women. And you could have called me misogynistic.
Yeah.
You could have said a lot of things. It wouldn't have mattered.
No. You've heard worse.
I
The
would have
Bellas,
said, I would have said, I understand.
the Bellas are the most ridiculous thing in pro wrestling to me since fucking Bill Goldberg. I cannot fucking stand the Bellas.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I will never understand it. You are not your husband, bitch. Stop diving. You're terrible at it. She's so bad at it. Like, how many times do we have to watch you almost injure somebody else or hurt yourself? Brie, you're almost 40.
You've had kids.
The fuck are you doing? You were never that great of a wrestler to begin with.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about Nikki. First of all, that dance is stupid. I mentioned it when Mark did it last week.
Hey. To be fair, it helps pay the child abuse payments that she's currently in.
Don't care. That dance is stupid.
That's true.
It's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
The right result.
Yeah.
You keep Fatal Influence as fresh and as in the minds of that this is going to be a dangerous group in the fans as you can.
Yeah.
Paige only 33.
Yeah.
Still very, very good at this.
I will say, you know what's funny?
So we're getting closer to her being a single star again.
You know what's really funny?
Yes.
I don't know, because we've said it before on the show. I don't know what it is, but this.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You are the reason I'm going to really go off. You attacked Paige, but it was your idea at WrestleMania, Nikki, because you were hurt to have Paige take that match.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the stupidest fucking reason for a heel turn I've ever heard.
But you want to know why no one's going to get mad at the booking? Because it's the Bellas, and they've always had stupid reasons for everything.
I was watching, and the match was okay.
Yeah. It was only like 7 minutes.
You know, Paige, I think Paige and Jacy Jane have some really good chemistry.
Okay, so to finish up, this is a point I want to be honest. I don't really know what it is in wrestling because I've just been around the business for a few years as an actual backstage guy. This is the moment, and I'll be honest, I'm not saying this is of all the guys at 13 cards. I'm not saying this is the guys in the Indies. This was the moment where I said to myself, I get it with Jacy Jane. I don't know why it took this moment, but like I finally clicked that like, oh yeah, she'll work just fine up here.
Oh, Jacy's going to be a star.
I thought so.
I'm still very sad Gigi's gone.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we didn't even get to see her potential, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
We don't get to see the potential, but
mostly injuries though.
Sure, but I'll say this once again.
Yeah.
3 months. Triple H, get Paige the fuck away from these two. I want them gone.
3 months? No.
Well, because I'm thinking.
No. Hold on. If Bree's out, cool. Finish up with Nikki in 2 weeks. Match done. Move on.
I can't.
Bree can come back and get mad at Nikki for not handling the Paige thing. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But no, 2 weeks done.
That match got agreed.
Because this is the second time since she's returned that she turned heel.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking can't stand the Bellas, man. Next match. So
All right.
dumb.
Keep them heel because unless you're the 7 girls in the arena that wear Bree mode or fearless shirts, the fans don't like them and they're just perpetual heels. Just keep them heel.
And, I'm a movie guy. I'm a movie guy. This weekend I got the chance to watch Project Hail Mary, which, my God, still so far because I haven't seen Spider-Man yet, might be the best film of the fucking year. I'm going to watch Obsession after Raw tonight because my cousin gave me the download code that he got after buying the DVD.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
But, and then I got the chance to watch He-Man, which I thought was fucking wholesome and funny as shit. I don't know why more people didn't go see it.
And
it was so funny.
And it's so unfortunate.
It was a great movie.
So unfortunate that after his arguably best performance, now we have to cancel Jared Leto. Although
it happened, the man is a living cultist. It is what it is.
That's what I was gonna say. You're surprised a man who literally runs a cult does
He's
this.
been running that thing for like 12 years.
Yeah.
You don't see his face. You just hear his voice.
I know.
But I want to be clear though, like I got to watch all that.
It's the sequel that won't die.
After watching night one, and I literally go to myself and I go, I prefer to now watch He-Man again on Prime because the Bellas pissed me off so much. Next match.
Oh, yeah, it was it. All right, next match we had the undisputed WWE Championship with CM Punk retaining over Cody Rhodes with a little help.
I'm going to say something that sounds a little bit controversial to people.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's slight help in
We
that.
can't keep doing the CM Punk is old story because unfortunately CM Punk does wrestle like he's old.
Well, yes.
I will say though, Guys, the moonsault was just him doing the Terry Funk version of a moonsault.
Dude, like,
Yeah,
listen,
that just-
this isn't a bad match, but I'm watching. I'm like, dude, why did you look so blown up like 10 minutes to the fucking match? Now, these two, they paced this 30 minutes very well. There wasn't like a lot of headlocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, it didn't feel super duper long, but the beats are getting a little tiring. I don't think you can have this match with him and Kevin.
Well, but
it's got to be a bit more fast paced.
Well, but to be fair, he may just be entering the realm of, again, Stone Cold. When he was Stone Cold, not the best wrestler in the world, but he was over, so it didn't matter.
He had so many injuries.
And,
Right. Well, no, Jesse. There, like, okay, there's reasons for it.
Well, right,
but what
right.
I'm saying is that Punk is so over that it may or may not matter.
Sorry about that. Jesse's mic dropped on the floor. Sorry about that sudden noise.
I got to work on
apologize.
this stand.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Continue.
And there,
Now my glasses fell.
You gonna drop anything else during the segment?
I'll have to fix this equipment today. It's fine.
There's the play where everything goes wrong. This is the podcast where everything
This
goes
is-
wrong for Jesse.
This is my
Sometimes.
butt fumble.
Yeah, there we go.
This is going to be hard to edit, so you guys are going to have to deal with that.
And
but
you
that's
wanted
fine.
to have a live this week. Probably not. Probably a good idea we didn't.
To be honest, I didn't have time to set up the cameras.
that'd
Yeah.
have been funny.
All right, continue with your thoughts.
But I mean, first of all, guys, Terry Funk that you all say you love and everything. That's how he did a moonsault. First of all,
Correct.
and second of all,
That was not his forte.
no, it was not. And second of all,
What are you
like,
looking for now?
you know,
understand.
it's behind you, on the floor.
Is that the one he used last week, though?
That one's the one he used. Yeah.
Keep talking. By the way, don't interrupt him. Just keep talking.
I just wonder what. the
Yeah,
heck you're doing.
no, Leroy, stop acknowledging the monkey in the room.
Wait a minute.
Jeez, hey now. You should get fucking slapped for that one.
Do you actually not know that reference?
The elephant in the room. I'm black.
No,
There
no,
we
no,
go.
no,
That's
No,
more and
no,
more
no.
correctly.
No. You've never heard that reference? You
Yes,
just
I have heard that reference.
don't acknowledge the monkey in the room. Just keep going.
I don't know how good this is going to sound, but we're going to work with it.
Okay, cool. Anyway.
Oh no, it works.
Anyway, no, but that's the thing. It's just, look, Punk is older. It is what it is.
Right.
He said on the Stephanie podcast, which he literally did like 2 days after winning the WWE title, which was only a couple weeks ago.
Right.
He's on a new diet, got a new trainer, all this other kind of stuff. So, like, who knows? But the thing about it is that, guys, what you saw was a match. Stop acknowledging it, Leroy.
Let him speak.
God, you know what? I'm done. You have ADHD. Accept it and shut up. Get some medication. You're worse than fucking Mark half the time. Anyway,
Medication.
Keep talking. It's
I
fine.
can't talk
that
about-
makes it worse.
Keep talking.
No, I love it this way.
Oh my God. Anyway, all right, but no, I mean, what you saw was, unfortunately, to the AEW stands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, when you do something with 3 over stars, and one including Randy, sometimes it doesn't have to look like it's the most amazing wrestling match in the world. Like, it works.
I did love his gear coming up. He was like, because everybody liked it.
You don't
Because
get
it
any
was.
idea how many motherfucking people said Packers colors, said Oregon Ducks. I'm like,
It's the Minnesota Stars. Well, the Dallas Stars now. But
yeah, the Dallas
The
Stars.
original.
But people not
And
from Minnesota didn't know what he was doing.
Because the Chicagoan didn't just have the balls to wear purple and gold, apparently.
Well, hey.
He could have literally wore blue and
He
white.
knew not to wear the Blackhawks shit.
Well, and
The
then,
ugliest sweater in all of hockey.
he could have wore
See-
he could have wore blue and white for the Twins. It's not like you guys would give a shit. Like,
was
who
he-
cares?
There's a little red in there.
is
There's a
he
little
more
red.
of
Oh, sure.
Is he more of a hockey fan? Than
Yes!
anything?
He's more of a hockey guy.
But you
then
can't.
that gives a very understandable why he was wearing the old
No,
North Star
it's-
colors.
it's-
I just think it's funny because
me, it's
all the
cowardice.
people, all the people on the internet were like,
And-
Packers.
And also,
He's
when-
lucky I wasn't in that crowd as he was doing the thing, because he would have after he would have finished that great promo. I'd be like, "You're still a bitch. Just wear Minnesota colors. Like, the Stars are in Dallas now. Just wear. You could have just wore the Wild.
We're still not over it.
I know.
We're still not over it.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to wear the Wild colors, then just wear the Twins colors. Because guess what? You don't really give a shit about baseball, and you're a Cubs fan. So it's not even your rival.
But some people say that he paid homage to Cody because that was the same color that Cody wore when he came in.
He didn't.
No, he did it. He
did it because of the stars.
He did
I
it
know
because
he
of
did
the
it because of the
stars
stars.
who are in fucking Dallas now. So to me, it is cowardice. But I digress. The match is fine.
Yeah.
The
It
match
was
is
great.
fine.
I love when Randy snuck in there behind the ref and RKO'd him, and then
By the way,
Punk got the win.
By the way,
Minnesota fans cannot help themselves. So there's a video.
Yeah.
Of that
where
woman
Randy-
chasing him.
Well, there was a couple videos, but like Randy's trying to do his best to hide in the crowd.
Yeah.
And like apparently there was one like as he's sneaking up, and a kid, I'm guessing he saw the ear or something.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my God, RKO," which got all the other fans to look like, "Holy shit, Randy's there!"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love Minnesota fans; they get so excited so quickly.
Yeah.
But I do want to say overall, fine match. I do appreciate that we're going to go back to the. I know people are like, we're going back to this. I'm like, you know what? Yes. Because
Well, we never fucking finished
we
it.
never got the chance to finish because Randy got hurt.
And can I also point this out, guys? Once again, the internet rumors. Randy will never leave.
Yes.
When he leaves, it's to retire.
Guys, I will never acknowledge any of that shit. Just like the WWE fans talking about, some of the weird ones talking about, they're going to have John Moxley come. I'm like, for what?
Wow.
He was quoted last week saying he'd rather work at McDonald's than go back to WWE.
Well, McDonald's might take him. As long as he doesn't
You
have
know
a
what?
pizza cutter.
There's one in this town that probably needs him.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
only Domino's that won't have him work there.
You know?
That's true. That's true.
The right across from a music store. I think you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's shit.
We're not going to go any further with that.
All right. On to the
Night 2.
No. We have
It is a
one
special Hell in a Cell match.
final main event match.
We're two
Hell in a
beefy
Cell.
men
Shut up, Leroy.
slapping the meat for a good 11 minutes and 40 seconds.
Hold on. Jesse, because Leroy can't do this correctly, we're going to run that back.
Two big beefy men slapping the meat for 10 to 11 minutes, getting sweaty and violent inside of Minnesota. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. I love this match.
This match
I love this
was,
match.
from start to finish, great.
This was excellent.
Oba defeated Brock Lesnar after Brock Lesnar showed everybody, hey, there isn't a trampoline underneath the ring.
Can I just say this before we go on?
It's a cushion
Allow
and some
me,
wood.
allow me to explain something to people, and this is how wrestling works like we talked in the beginning. There are stars, and then there are people who are good but are booked like shit. Okay, Oba popping up after the tombstone. 2 reasons. Number 1, he's not a 5'10" indie guy with fucking trunks his mom made. No offense to those guys, you're in the business. But Tony, he doesn't present them well on television. You can't deny that.
No, you're right.
Guys, A, it's Oba, and B, it's 2 dudes that are over as God, and guess what? People don't care about the selling and the real. Guys, Stone Cold Steve Austin very rarely actually stomped a mud hole in someone's face. Okay? He missed a lot of the kicks.
He didn't really stomp the mud hole. They sold the stomp.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Jesse,
yeah.
Jesse, here's the other thing. In AEW land, people go, well, why are you hating on it? Because you guys like it. You're 500,000, despite what Dave just said about the last Dynamite. Like, Dave, no one believes you.
They lost NXT last week.
Yeah, well, guess
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Well, no. Remember, Dave said 500,000 on Max.
Yeah, no. They lost to NXT last week.
I know. But anyway.
NXT was fucking awesome.
But, okay, hold on. Stay with me, boys. Okay, here's the thing. But that's the thing that people need to understand. In your world, yes, you guys love that. You're the minority, whether you like it or not. In the world of WWE, which by the way, to all the internet people like, I can't wait to watch this, that, you still watch. Shut the fuck up. In WWE, what's the number one thing that got over? Number one still always was Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Hulking up. No one cared that Hulk didn't sell things because he sold merchandise.
Not until later on.
Exactly.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is guys, Oba jumping up got that crowd up. It made everybody impressed, and nobody cared because WWE does the one thing that you fucking little smart-ass motherfuckers don't get. They just perform for for their audience, not for you and everybody else.
But I think the way that
they don't care about you guys. Okay? Here's the thing. Hang on, Leroy. Here's the thing. Oba doing this was great for the people watching. Everyone loved it. The crowd went nuts. The AEW guys are like, well, hey, guys, when your guys do it, you sit on your hands and don't react, so shut the fuck up. It's not complicated.
But Brock did it.
Yes.
And he does it. It's understandable. He's a beast. Oba, he's a beast. And he didn't just automatically jump right up. He took a second, and then he sat up saying, I'm going to kill you.
Yes, Oba apparently missed the powerbomb on the hard thing, which is why Brock probably had the elbow pads on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock, I think you should be happy because you protected your elbows.
Yes.
But Brock, I think your back would have fucking hurt forever after that.
Oh, yeah.
But Jesse, guess what? No one cared in the moment, and that's all that matters.
Really. Like, you could tell he looked like, fuck, we kind of missed that. But, like, I think back and like, you know what, I'm kind of happy he missed it. That would hurt like a bitch.
Well, you look back to it, they put on a great match.
Yeah.
Nobody, and people were
By
like,
the way, you want to talk about
I think some people were probably predicting that somebody would have bled, but they did not.
Also, by the way, quick question.
Wasn't necessary.
Okay, quick question, boys.
Yes.
A little rapid fire. Number one, who else used a bunch of chairs in the previous matches on this night?
Nobody.
Who else went through tables?
Nobody.
Hey, Jesse, who else ripped up the ring and used the exposed board?
Jesse?
Sorry, say that again.
Who else, ripped up the mat and used the boards in previous matches on this night? Who else?
Oh, nobody else.
Exactly. So, guys,
I get what you're getting
as
at here.
Jim Cornette has tried to say, because AEW fans are just like political type people, it's like, well, you said this. No. What he said was when you break a table in the first 3 matches of a 7-hour AEW show, that's the pre-show, by the way, and then the main eventers do it, it doesn't have the same impact. Did you notice that no one else on night 2 used the announce tables except for, who was that? Oh, yeah, the main event guys.
Correct.
Guys, It's not complicated. I've sat and I've watched the conversations in the indies. What are you doing? No. Why? Unfortunately, the people they paid to see are already doing it. Roman Reigns told his cousin Nia, because I'm not shitting on myself with something that, guess what? Yeah, guess what? It's not. It'd be different if Nia had put Lana in a tables match that had led to that, but it wasn't a tables match. So Roman said no, and it made sense. Guys, these...
Oh, what she kept putting it through tables every week?
Yeah.
It was funny. It was like, why does this keep happening?
Yeah, but guys, on a serious note, Jesse doesn't go to a show and say, hey, guys, maybe we should play a song from the band that's going on, 2 bands after us. You covering the headliner makes no fucking sense.
Right, that would be stupid.
That would be so dumb. And by the way, they'd be dumb to let you.
Correct.
Because no offense, Jesse, you guys can't do it the way they do it. That's why they're the fucking headliner.
Right.
Okay? Maybe once in a while, if you're like longtime friends with them and like you're maybe somewhat on the same vein as the crowd you're in front of, you could cover a deep cut of the headliner. But not any of the songs the headliner's going to play. No one broke tables. No one exposed the wood. No one used chairs in these earlier matches because they were going to do it all in Hell in a Cell. It's not complicated. It's not difficult. And I don't understand why people think that in 5 years from now, congratulations, you made it 6. You had this little thing called a pandemic that kind of made us all a little fucking stir crazy. But guess what? In 5 years, when AEW is doing the same fucking shit of, hey guys, let's go break 7 tables, it's the first match.
And then, the last thing before we take one more break, guys, listen, I give Brock all the credit in the world. This is clearly a guy he really likes.
Yep.
So he definitely, he was like, I'm going to definitively put him over.
Yeah.
This probably will be it for Brock. I know Triple H said he'll leave it up to Brock.
Yeah.
There's just nothing else for him to do
except get his money back from Dana.
I agree. I think this is his last hurrah. He did it from home.
It makes
kind
all
of
the
his
sense in
home
the world.
state
Yeah.
and home crowd because it was.
And now we would like to take a breather and thank two other sponsors, NordVPN and Cerulean Syrups.
And now we're going to move on to night 2 of WrestleMania, live from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes, night 2 started out with the number one contender match between Finn and Sammy, but then...
Stop!
Yes?
Moment of silence for Allison.
Okay. Are we good?
And now on to the rest
All
of
right.
the
Well, then,
She should be used to suffering at this point.
before the match...
you as a Viking fan, she should be
It
used to
doesn't
suffering.
mean she wasn't disappointed when I got home.
There we go.
And it wasn't even me.
Yeah, was it? All right. Before the match started, Nick Aldis came out as GM and said, hold on a minute. This is changing. We're adding a competitor.
Yeah.
Out comes Gunther.
Yeah.
People are mad. Of course, the dude was like, oh, it's going to be a triple threat. And he's like, no, wait a minute. We're not done.
No,
This is going to be a fatal four-way.
We need one
more person.
Silence.
And who comes back?
Guitar riff. Kevin Owens.
Comes
And
back.
by the way, folks, I guarantee you Sammy knew. Sammy's just worked with Kevin for so long, he knows how to be surprised.
And for part of the match, Sammy just stood in the corner going, what the fuck?
Hey, man.
That was great.
Hey, man. One thing we've learned about their journey in WWE, it's the one thing they've actually been able to really tell a good story, even with Vince. They're best friends, but if they have to fight each other, they will.
Oh, yeah, they fight.
And we had
I saw Ladder Wars.
KO pinning Sami Zayn to be the number one contender for the
Jesse,
title
in an era in which everything gets leaked, in an era where we think we know everything, I'm okay with the result because you know what? A, it's a star, and B, it was something none of us expected. Also, shout out to KO who shouted out Rebel and her
yes, that was so
and
awesome.
her battle.
ALS.
I'm glad they let him do that. That's so wonderful.
It was the post show. Everything's unscripted.
Well, here's the thing.
They were gonna do whatever they want.
It's not like Triple H. It's not like Vince where they can't mention the outside wrestling world.
Especially in a situation like that.
They exist.
It's
or
weird.
when Big E, when he got a hug from KO, he
just-
let something slip.
All I'm saying
He
is
just forgot that the
he
camera.
forgot that the mic was on.
All I'm saying to everybody is, guys,
that's fine.
This is the character that makes you believe in Sami Zayn. Winning is not Sami Zayn's forte. Winning once in a while after a struggle, that's what he's good at. Gunther was there for star power, and KO is a star that will go on to take on CM Punk, and it'll work. It'll make sense.
Right.
Because remember, KO has never held that one. Also, long before Punk and KO do their thing, Sammy and Kevin have to have a heart-to-heart, probably in the ring with a hockey fight.
Well,
anyway.
I think, Sammy losing to Finn, yes, that would have made him. But him losing to KO and getting pinned by him, that makes his explosion and everything.
I think the other thing that Jesse talked about, and I think Jesse felt this way when the results finally happened, Jesse, it's going to be a bit of a slow burn, but Finn's right back in the mix on SmackDown.
I mean, he's clearly back in the main event mix here.
He is.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to get Cody away from it for a while.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I love her. She's a sweetheart, but she should be used to this.
Well, she is. She married me.
It's like being a Jet fan. Like, if you ever have hope, this is what you get, and you're a Finn Balor fan. It's been 10 plus years. Like the Vikings possibly maybe winning a Super Bowl this year.
If you start Kyler Murray, it ain't gonna happen.
I agree. And then the Jets making the playoffs, which I don't believe is going to happen. That would be an over successful season for us. If you're a Finn Balor fan, and when they started announcing more people, you thought he was still winning, it's your fault.
Yeah. But again, in an era where nothing can be kept quiet, now everyone was like, "Oh, Kevin's in Minneapolis," and everyone was like, "Well, duh, it's SummerSlam."
It's kind of fun. That's what I'm like. Well, duh, of course he's there. He's doing all the events and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
showed up to tell Dominic Mysterio how he hated him.
My favorite part was that this was literally the easiest hide in plain sight surprise ever.
Because he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know people at first, a lot of people who were there were like, we thought this was Randy. Like, oh shit, Randy's going to become #1 contender after he just screwed Cody. And then like, no, it's KO. KO's back.
And I was the same way. I was like, is it Randy? And then KO. I was like, no.
It was funny because my first thought wasn't KO for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
My first thought was Zilla, and I don't know why. And then like
it'll happen, but
I was just like, because he was there, so people, like that's who that was at the end of the night doing the one, and no security card came and got him. That was Zilla with Roman at the end there, but And then when KO's losing hit, I'm like, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It makes all the fucking sense in the world.
And also, by the way, I think it's a nice little nugget to be like, wow, all this went right back to work.
By the way, also, I think Kevin doing his best to not get emotional because...
Well, no. The emotion was when he turned around and he looked up at the screen. And then he got it out of himself because he's like, oh, shit, now I got to go be me.
Well, because here's the thing. So, like, he was saying a little bit, like, I saw some of the faces, and they showed some of those faces, and I think he didn't realize how much he was missed.
You know, it's always funny to me when people go, will they have missed me? Certain people I get if you're like a mid-carder.
Right.
But sometimes I'm like, you're fucking Becky Lynch. You're Bianca.
Dude.
You're fucking Kevin Owens.
You're fucking Edge. I still remember he talked about that post Royal Rumble, and he's like, I got emotional because I was not expecting that response.
Not to mention that, dude, nobody had any inkling on that. We gave up 7 years.
I tell people who ask me about that.
9, I apologize.
I was downstairs watching that Rumble. I heard that music. My mom was coming back from an appointment, and she just sees her baby boy cry. And so she's like, what happened? What happened when I was gone? I'm like, Edge is back. I'm like, Edge is back, Mom. And she's like, oh, the wrestler. Okay. Because I'm like, to me, I'm like, he's never coming back.
9 years.
That neck injury was so devastating, he was almost paralyzed. I'm like, he's never coming back.
Yeah.
And then, like, do you think, you know what I mean? I'm like, no fucking way is he in this Rumble.
Yeah.
And I saw him come out. I lost it.
What was crazy to me about that moment? What was crazy to me about that moment was me going like, I was like you. It didn't hit till I saw him, but then I was like, wait, why would they have done all this if he wasn't actually there? But it's like it doesn't hit you.
They did the pyro. I'm like, he's actually back. I'm like, he's fucking back. And so when he showed up on Raw, I almost cried again because I was just like, I cannot believe Edge is back.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, no. It's a result that kind of shocks some people. It's going to inject life into SmackDown.
And I think this one didn't hit me. Like I told people, I was happy.
Yeah.
But it didn't hit me as emotionally because since I'm more plugged in.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the rumors a little bit, I heard like, he's getting better. He's almost there. So, awesome for Kevin.
Yeah.
By the way, Sami Zayn's going to be fine. Finn will be fine.
Yeah.
The guy I think about really in this scene now
is Gunther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's pretty well established,
well,
so
that's
we'll
the thing about Gunther is that I try to explain to people, if you don't get him, you're never going to get him because there isn't a lot to what he does.
Like, guys, he's
old school.
He's the dude you hate to see beat your favorite guy. Like,
yeah.
That's him.
And he doesn't care that you hate it because you're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Like, again, I explained to everyone out there, you're mad that a heel did heel things. You realize that's the point, right?
I will say this, though. If Triple H wants to freshen him up, it would be nice to get a new version of Imperium around him.
Or, you don't have a lot going on with Ilya right now.
That's
Put those two together. Like I said, you could do a new version of Imperium. Him, Ilya.
I
mean,
want to see them wrestle again.
I don't think you're gonna.
You ain't getting that unless it's Wrestle fucking Mania,
I
right?
know. I can't wait for that.
Because Triple H is going to tell them, all right, boys, it's number 3. Just don't die.
Get Rusev in on that thing,
Yeah, sure.
because I'm like, if you get Rusev with those two guys, now you're thinking of this is a new form of evolution in a way. Like, all 3 of these guys are going to be future world champions.
Yeah.
Because one of them is an established guy. That was Triple H.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Gold kind of like an Iron Curtain kind of group.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Like I said, the reason I think of New School Evolution is because I'm just like, to give this for Triple H when it came to Evolution, it really did, especially as the group broke apart, it gave him a fresh feel in the sense he made main eventers out of that. That was the whole point of that group, and he made 2 more main eventers because, of course, Ric Flair was still a legend at that point. So, yep, awesome for Kevin. Next match.
We had the U.S. champions. Trick lost to Baron Corbin. Little Yanni was. I haven't seen him for a few weeks.
He wasn't there the last 2 weeks.
Trick,
I think
and now
when
he
people,
was back this time.
You and I talked about this while Jesse was out of the room. This is not we're done with you. This is Sol Ruka, but on the male side, you're moving up.
There's
Trick,
that.
oh yes,
there's that, but like, you can still keep his character. It's a tweener character, but it's a babyface.
You mean Trick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
I love the win from
Baron.
Baron Corbin. This is his second time with the U.S. title.
I think this one's going to go well in this sense.
I think,
but it's his second time with the title.
Right.
Yeah.
For him this time, because number one, he became a better promo since he's been gone.
Well,
I
not
hope
only that,
they lean into that.
but Triple H is finally going to tell him training wheels are off. We're not going to write much for you. Just go out there and do what you want to do. Because I think Triple H will tell you one of the biggest mistakes Vince ever made was probably Baron Corbin, because we handed you a guy who's very safe, has a great move set, and is a straight up, he can kind of do anything style guy.
It's just one of the, by the way, and it's one of the best finishers you got out there right now.
Oh, yes.
The end of days is a sweet ass move. No matter how many times I see it, I'm like, the way he can get elevation on that bitch and how he gets people to swing
And
with
Trick's
it
no
is
small
crazy.
pony.
Right.
Like, let's be honest about
Lift
that.
your legs, allow me to swing you back so when you come forward, you'll get the momentum, and it works every fucking time. I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah, I have no problems with this. I know some people were unhappy, but I'm like, I actually don't mind this.
Not to mention,
because even if Trick doesn't get it back from him, you can move Trick up.
Yeah.
You can move Carmelo up if you.
Not to mention the fact, guys, you're the ones who keep saying, the WWE side, not the sickos. You keep saying, WWE's a little stale, a little predictable here and that. What do you want? He gave you something new. Like when it boils down to it, SummerSlam had some shocks, and it's gonna make you tune in, and that's all he's really trying to do.
He does have to bring Ilya back, though.
It's still the visa issue. I think with that.
I think someone said that too, but I'm like, once it can clear, you got to bring him back, because right now that you are missing that in this division. Yeah, you're missing that guy people got into because of his heart.
Well, but I think Triple H of all people knows that. Right. Like I always try to tell people, if you're telling me that someone hasn't been on TV in a while, whether it's a male or a female, and they were Triple H people, it's not because that guy gave up on them. It's because something's working against him, whether it's his boss or the mango.
Yeah,
Next match.
I did pick that. I thought out of the title matches, the 3 out of the ones tonight, that I knew that was going to be a title change.
Right.
Yeah.
Next up is the ladder match for the Interim's WWE Women's Championship.
I have a declaration to make, and I will just say it.
Yes.
The best female in the damn world right now, no question, is Chelsea Green.
I've never been so happy to be so wrong.
Chelsea Green.
I'm glad she was.
I've never been so happy to be
Here's
so
the thing.
wrong.
Right now, and it's not because they're bad or because they won't. Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Mercedes Moné to a lesser degree because she's just shit.
Right now, she is.
Alexa, Becky, all these women, Bianca, all these women have one thing in common. They can't go and do anything. That's not a talent. That's not an attitude thing. They're too over. They're stars.
Right.
This girl, I know that because Minnesota is as good as we are, Minnesota nice, it can't happen. I told Allison the only thing that would make this better and would warm my heart would be if she was the most dastardly heel in the world, because she would be the most insufferable bitch in the world. She can do anything, and it's going to be great. That's why I say she's the best in the world right now, because you always said, Jesse, she can wrestle like Charlotte, but she can also do the joke shit.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a sad thing that she couldn't have her. Dude, dude, I feel stupid for not realizing she was winning because I told Allison it wasn't going to happen. I'm like, wait a second. They said at the beginning 8 of her girlfriends couldn't make it because of a flight issue. I'm like, why would you want some? Oh, now I get it.
Oh yeah, probably. But
they kind of gave it away.
They did kind of give it away. But I will say this: number one, of course, I'm
happy for her.
I think most of the Minnesota crowd didn't believe it, but boy, they were insanely.
Their
behind
attitudes
her.
changed real fast.
They were behind her the whole match.
Yeah,
because she's a fan favorite here.
Yeah.
Besides the hometown girl Tiffany Stratton, she was wearing her. I do love her butterfly outfit that she's wearing, but that she does. But she was Vikings purple theme, which was great. Jade came out in honor of Prince.
I was actually a little upset at Tiffany because I was watching that and I was just like, I think the purple's for the Vikings. But, sweetie, you were just there last season. Just let them make your gear.
That's true. And I did.
You're literally from Forest Lake. I'm sure they would be happy to do it.
Prior Lake.
Justin Jefferson is right in the crowd.
He's standing right there.
Have him walk out with you. Like, why not?
But I did.
But that would have given it away that she was losing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I did appreciate Chelsea looking up at Tiffany and saying, I'm sorry, as she pushed the ladder over, because,
they had become friends.
The only thing
I do like that. Apparently, we're getting that spin-off into Lash and Tiffany.
Yeah.
But
the only thing I hate
Green
about
has
this,
taken that fall, so I.
The only thing I hate about this, no, she didn't take that kind of fall. Chelsea Green took tables.
No,
Tiffany
she
fell
went
on people.
off a ladder.
Tiffany fell on people.
No,
she got pushed off of ladder.
Last year was rough.
Yeah,
that was
she got pushed off the ladder to the other ladders, and I'm like, oh, we killed her.
Yeah,
okay.
But anyway,
so that's why she apologized.
I'm
sorry about this.
But guys, okay, you think we're just gonna talk it up? Fine, here it is. Just take the interim tag off. What the fuck are we doing?
No one's going to. No one who's a fan is going to call her interim champion.
No.
Nobody. So
the problem is that you gave us the only woman in the match where none of us are gonna fucking say it.
We're not going to say.
All you had
Charlotte won, we'd be like, well, she's clearly interim champion.
Yeah.
And
now they've talked about Money in the Bank having the reunification of it, which, okay, fine. But what if it was just her coming back, her being Rhea, and saying, I never lost it, yada, yada. Like, again, I ripped Tony for it because he did it so many times. I rip actual fighting for it because, again, John Jones Bones, you didn't want anything with Tom Aspinall. It's fine. But, guys, just no. Triple H, this is dumb. There's no excuse for it. You deserve to be ripped through the coals for this one little thing that, like Jesse said, the problem is you gave us the one person in the match that no one believes is the interim
because,
champion.
as much as I love Rhea, then you hear, Finn talking about, he had to relinquish the championship, and you go, yeah, then why didn't just Vince make an interim champion?
And I will say, Jesse was slightly angry because, yes, due to WWE Unreal, Road Dogg was right. And Michael Hayes, you deserved.
I'm starting to think Road Dogg was right about a few things, and maybe I owe him some apologies.
I'm starting to think that myself.
I'm starting to get nervous about that.
Yeah, right?
Reach out on Twitter and tell him, hey, I'm sorry.
But
I can do that.
But I will say this. Chelsea Green and Leroy, this is why I told you. This is unscripted when it's the post or pre-show. I dedicate this victory to Michael Hayes. Yeah. And Corey Graves looked right at his camera and said, if you know, you know. But Jesse, I also want
I'm looking forward to that match.
I also want to say, I just think that it's not Michael not liking Chelsea. It's maybe Michael thinking a little too old school that how do you take the girl who's so good with the jokes and make her into something? But again, when you think old school
Mick
sometimes...
Foley's a former WWF champion. The Rock is a former multi-time WWE, WWF
I'm not saying he was right. But I'm just saying it blinds you to new things.
Watching Unreal, like, sometimes makes you go... Triple H, why have you kept him and the pink one around? Like, I don't understand it.
Well, but again, as I always try to explain to people want to believe in something so much, and they think it was the best times. That's why the media tells you that Michael's the GOAT, even though all statistical metrics, all actual video evidence proves otherwise. But again, I won't sit here and debate people who say, hold on,
because they always want to talk about like 6 of 6 and go ahead.
Yeah. But that's my thing, guys. But again, I always say because this is always the thing that I tell people. Everyone's like, well, Michael's got the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm like, so does LeBron. They're like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, no, he does. It's just on Marc Gasol's shelf. And everyone's like, well, but it didn't happen. I'm like, you're right. The media kept it away from him so that Michael has a leg up, because the media is the most pathetic thing in the NBA, where they're like, we must defend the old days because it was good and we are best. It's like, shut the fuck up and grow up and move with the fucking times, okay? You're going to sit there and tell me that Michael P.S. Hayes back in the day wouldn't have looked at Chelsea Green if she was in his era and had said, oh, yeah, we got to do everything with her. He came from an era where if you were a joke, you were never going anywhere else. That's just the way. Again, I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying that, unfortunately, you get egg on your face when you have a guy like Triple H, who is the most, I will not give a fuck about my era at all and move on to the new era and not fucking care what it does to my era. But instead, you've got the fucking writers who turn around and go, yep, the 90s was the best era of basketball. Even though if you go back and watch, those games were kind of shit. The majority of there's a reason why the NBA wasn't on TV as much in every market. Not just because that's how TV worked. It's because most of those teams,
very, very.
Colin Cowherd literally sat there and gave you the rosters of Michael's runs to the finals in his second stint with the Bulls, and it's like, yeah, there's like 2 good players on them on those teams.
Yeah. So yeah, before we move on, I love this for her. It'll be interesting to see the run she gets, because I think you have a real chance at making a run of this and keeping it on her until even when Rhea comes back.
Well, that's my question. Is Triple H maybe gonna back himself into a corner of, Rhea, you're back and you're still Rhea Bloody Ripley, but fuck, this is working.
No,
I hope so.
I appreciate what sometimes I appreciate about Triple H's booking is the so-called being backed into a corner for him. Sometimes is a good thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes something just organically is happening, and he's just like, "Why would you mess with it?"
Yeah.
Like, we'll just keep going.
Oh, no. If Chelsea goes on a quote-unquote generational style run with this until Money in the Bank, Rhea's going to come back and Triple H is going to go, yeah, no, you ain't winning it at Money in the Bank.
Unfortunately, you're not going to keep this title.
It's not happening, no. And you know what? Because Chelsea tends to be so well-liked by everybody,
right.
Rhea might go, nah, I get it. I've been watching it. It's great.
It's one thing to hear it from someone like a wrestler maybe being cocky, right?
Yeah.
It's another when your boss understands what's going on, comes to you. And Rhea's very understanding of the business. She'd be like, no, let's just keep it on Chelsea for a while. Let's do some stuff here.
But I will say this.
By the way, she's insanely humble, by the way.
Oh,
God, yeah.
She probably heard she was winning and like, no, what?
I'm sure the other ladies were like, hey, by the way, tonight it's you. And she's like, wait, what?
I don't know how.
What are you guys talking about here?
I need that WWE vlog to come out. I need to know the moment they tell. Again, I don't want to bitch about Michael P.S. Hayes. It happened. It's over with. By the way, I guarantee you Triple H sat her down with him and everyone. Again, it's run by adults. There's no way that they didn't just talk this out.
I bet you it was the same reaction that...
By the way, Kathy Kelly still works in WWE, even though Kevin Owens' wife got mad on Twitter.
I bet you it's the same reaction, maybe even... I bet you if we saw it, it'd be like the Eddie Guerrero thing we didn't get the chance to see, which was apparently Vince went up to him and was like, by the way, "You're gonna be champion tonight." And Eddie went, "Wait, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So because he was like, so I hold it for a week, and then Brock gets it back. He's like, "No." He's like, so like the next pay-per-view, he's like, "No, you're gonna be my champion for a while."
Yeah.
And Eddie went, "Vince, stop fucking with me. No, you're not doing this." And Vince was like, "No, dude, it's just time."
Yeah, right.
And I think there's a good chance Triple H and them went up to her as they're discussing the match, as they're working on it and the thing, and they went, "Oh, by the way, you're going to win this tonight." And she's like, "Shut up, what?"
Yeah.
Like, yep, this is your time. We're going to just push you to the moon.
I either need her to tell the story of what happened or I need the video vlog of it because
I bet you she was just like, "You guys are lying. This is not happening."
there's no way she believed it.
There's no way she
believed it.
Yeah, and if her husband, he's not as humble as her, he'd be like, yeah.
I wonder if they told Matt.
Yeah.
And so he was out there, and then as they're telling her, he's just like, "Baby, congrats."
Yeah, right.
And she's like, "There's no fucking way."
All right.
Like, you've earned this. Next match.
The next match will be about going back in time. We did kind of with this gimmick match because it was human money's on a pole there where Danhausen defeated Dominic
Pause.
Mysterio
I want you guys to pause for a second.
with a little help.
I got to be honest. This match is a reminder of why I hate pro wrestling fans. You guys sometimes can't enjoy. Now, I'm not talking about the people in the crowd.
No,
they
no.
got it and they enjoyed it,
Brad Williams, by the way, was one of the mini houses.
which
Yes,
was
he
awesome.
was.
I noticed him. He's hard not to notice because I know his face and his voice so well. But the online wrestling fans,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, no, fuck off.
Fuck you. Oh, man, they buried Dominic. Oh, they buried Dominic. Dominic is still AAA Mega Campeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominic's fine.
He's going to lose to El Grande Americano, though.
Oh, man, they buried
Yes.
the Miz. Miz is finally not a zombie. Miz has been doing the joke shit with wrestlers for years. He's still a bona fide Hall of Famer.
He was never mad at the zombie thing because they made him into a zombie thing. He got mad because he got hurt.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first time he heard.
The Danhausen thing is bury Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson was a heel you guys were cheering for. He was always a fucking heel.
He was also a no one without his tag team partner.
But guess what? You guys know who he is, and you're rooting for him now. That's still a good thing.
Not to mention the fact, I'm sorry, 1 trillion of these things are available on WWE.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if they get rid of those things in the next couple of weeks, guys, this is wrestling. We talked about it to open the show, and here's why. If you would be that... Well, you wouldn't be an idiot. You'd be Tony Khan. To not run with something that organically got over like fucking hell.
And like I said before, yes, the thing on Monday was awful.
I didn't hate it. Allison and I liked it.
I thought it was dog shit.
Allison and I
The
liked
music?
it. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's
I thought
fine.
the music
I thought it was funny.
Okay,
It's fine.
well, I guess once again, in every way, I'm the minority here.
It's fine.
I thought it was dog shit.
Wrestling's
but
subjective. It's fine.
I said at the time, even when I hated it, I went, the match is still going to be fine.
Well, not to mention the fact
yeah.
the crowd didn't seem to hate it. It was the internet that hated it.
And so, like, I'm watching this match.
Joe Hendry coming out to help him.
By the way,
Right.
was there
That's
real
awesome.
money mixed in that bag? Because some of those dollar bills looked real.
Yes, I think there was.
Well, there was, because he did give some of that money to Nick Khan's kids, who, by the way, this is the part I do love. I love there were fans shouting at Danhausen after he did that, going, "Don't give him anything!" Well, Nick Khan's sitting there with his kids. Hey, Nick, you wanted this position? You get the heat, buddy. You get it. But, yeah, this was fun. He's going to be fine. He's going to move on to other things. Dominic's fine, dude. So is Judgment Day.
Dominic's
It's fine.
also the guy who fucking a year ago at this time none of you thought was going to be anything.
Because people were like replaying the stuff with his dad when it came out in the interest truck. And yeah, we watched that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, guys, Dominic's fine.
He's perfectly
and you know
fine.
another reason why everybody really loved Danhausen down there? Because a few days before that, he was handing out free ice cream.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was. From
the
the
guys
Dan-
just,
And thanks to
The-
Leroy,
the Danhausen van.
because only you can bring this kind of bad juju, you fucking idiot. It's going to take 10 million Minnesotan dollars to uncurse the Vikings. Way to go, dumb shit.
why'd you do that?
Well, I said, hey, if everybody gave $1, it could help. But no.
Once again, Mr. Optimist over here is just as bad as every fucking Twins fan.
Can I be fair to him, though?
Sure, whatever.
He's not cursing the Vikings. The media is cursing the Vikings.
He's also unable to acknowledge the problems.
I want to be clear,
Mr.
though.
Optimist every fucking year. Thanks for that.
His optimism isn't your problem.
Yeah.
Everyone talking about how Kyler Murray should be the quarterback.
Yeah,
is your
you're not
problem.
wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Jesse is optimistic that his Jets will
No, he's
actually
not.
No.
What the fuck is
might
wrong
have
with
a
you?
good season.
No.
No.
But he understands that they probably will not have a good
Pause the
season.
show. This ain't about wrestling for 2 minutes. What in the last fucking year has given you any inkling that Jesse, I forget your middle name, Stowe, has any faith in the Jets?
Well,
you are too
About
good.
that much.
Nope. I don't care. Nope.
Not a lot, but
Hold
it's
on.
there.
Hold on. No. Stop. Blood into wine, bread into a fucking fish. Whatever the story is, you are a good Christian man. You went too far this time.
Alcohol, please.
You went too far this time.
I need more.
Okay?
I need way more.
Whatever your fucking God is, it ain't saving that fucking plane.
I don't think
And
he
he
wants
knows
to,
it.
and I don't blame him. He has other miracles to work. That
You,
one is
sir,
not worth
are
his time.
asking.
Well, yes, because the Jets actually have
you
a
are
title.
asking-
We haven't got a title yet.
Let me be very clear. You are asking for two things to happen.
By the way, that was like 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Let
Let me be clear. Let me be very
My
clear.
mom wasn't born yet.
You are asking for. You just asked for two things to happen, and it's never going to happen.
Joe Namath is still alive.
What you just asked for, sir, is number one, the Lord Jesus Christ actually coming back to save the Jets. It ain't happening. And number two,
no.
you actually think that Jesse is going to. Hold on. I'm going to say it. It's an internet joke. It's great. You think you're going to get Jesse optimism on the Jets before GTA 6? The fuck is wrong with you?
Probably not.
The fuck is. You are. Hold on.
That game might actually finally come out next year.
You actually no. You don't get to. You, sir, are not a stupid man. You are a good father. You are a good Christian man. But you fucking actually said the dumbest thing in the history of the show. Jesse has optimism for the. He's never said that in the time he's been on the show. Where have you been?
Where's he been? I've said worse. Trust me.
Oh my God. You're not going to acknowledge your stupidity?
I think when
You're just not going to acknowledge how dumb it was?
I don't. You do it for me, so I don't have to.
When I joined the show, I think Adam Gase was our coach. I have not had faith in a long time.
Yes, when we see Jesus, either the Vikings or the Jets have won the Super Bowl.
I can show up to
Jesus,
church
that's
with
it.
you next Sunday. Me
Yes.
and your pastor can start talking football. He can go, listen, God loves all his children. I'd be like, he forgot the Jets 40 years ago, and he has stopped. And he does, and I don't blame him, and he should not care now.
Well,
it's not good.
My old pastor's a Cowboys fan.
Oh, so he knows about lost faith.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
You actually, with a straight face, decided to say to the world of 13 cards, we love our fans, by the way, God bless you all. You actually said with a straight face, Jesse has optimism on the Jets.
I give more hope that Bonnie Blue never has a disease.
Okay.
Yeah, I give more hope that Bonnie Blue never has an
I wish
STD.
I had the ignorance that you have to move past such a dumb statement. I don't know who has said something stupider in the last 24 hours. You or RFK Jr.
He's very
Hey, now, wait a minute.
It's on the same level. Don't give me that shit.
No.
Leroy's just very optimistic.
There you go.
You know, it's a good trait for a northerner to have.
It ain't the first time.
But for a northeasterner, we don't have
It ain't
that.
the second. It won't be the last time I make you feel that way.
We have realism in it.
Leroy,
All right.
Leroy, I lost my hockey team to fucking Texas, and I had more faith in hockey coming back to Minnesota than Jesse has in the Jets right now.
You also originally lost your basketball team to LA too. To be fair to you guys.
Well, yeah, but at least we get to claim a couple championships before that. So.
That's true.
That's true. We didn't win.
Yeah.
We almost got there, but didn't get there.
By the way, it never makes sense if they kept the name the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, there's no fucking lakes in California. Well, there's a few, but not as many as here.
There's
there's
some man-made lakes there.
And the hometown hero comes home.
We did. We had the Intercontinental Championship. I did. His ring attire looked awesome. Purple and gold.
You know, what was really interesting, because we talked a little bit about this, Jesse, while you were out. I mean, this is how you do face versus face.
Right.
And unfortunately, this is the match. And I'll say it because both these guys are on the level of the two guys we're going to see.
Right.
Look, guys, Penta didn't want to do what he was going to do in front of Chad's kids, his parents, his wife, his hometown. But Penta knows the business that he's in, and he knows in the business, when you're the champion, you get paid more. Like, Penta knew the assignment, but here's the thing. It doesn't need to be crazy, over the top, redo the same match we had in Japan 4 or 5 years ago and blah, blah, blah. It can literally just be a guy on a redemption story, and unfortunately the person in front of him is the person who started the whole thing. But they don't have to be on opposite ends of the spectrum.
No, I thought this was really beautiful. Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish in a second. I thought this was really beautifully done. The match was excellent. Of course it was going to be.
Great match.
And you get the emotional payoff. Because, to be fair, I did like that, especially for the crowd in the... And maybe it's because you guys are Viking fans. There was a little doubt.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little doubt.
Yep.
But once Penta tapped... You saw the actual real elation on those fans' faces.
And it also goes to show you, guys, this is why it's the greatest form of entertainment. Every person in...
Also, really quick,
Yeah,
I give WWE credit, too. Mostly Triple H.
Yeah.
To let him... Like, Roman Reigns is technically your champion, all that shit.
Yeah.
To have Chad Gable be the last thing that crowd saw post-show was really cool.
But that's the thing that, like... Okay, guys, this is why I always tell you, if you watch it, you'll be hooked by it. I've never been proven wrong unless somebody was trying to act cool in front of their other friends, blah, blah, blah. But no, let me be clear. Everyone in the state of Minnesota knew who was winning that match because they're all smart, and also Chad was probably told ahead of time. He probably told at least his wife and his parents, but not his kids. But let me be clear. Even with everyone knowing, that was real emotion, like Jesse said. In this business, you can know the result, but it's still not real until the referee's hand hits 3 or the guy taps out.
Because to be fair, your other guy did lose in the main event last night. Though he's been such a Canada guy that he really hasn't been a Minnesota guy, Brock Lesnar, in a long time.
Well,
No, he really hasn't.
We still keep
But,
it.
It's his home,
But
but
it's like, I'll say this, is like, guys, it does show that Triple H is willing to work with someone who's willing to work with him. Triple H said, if you want the spot, take it. Look, Chad is the prime example of Triple H probably talked to Vince 1,000 times about doing more with him, but Vince saw him as too short. And we go from Shorty G to a gimmick that was supposed to be insulting to Mexico and then got over in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then not only got over in Mexico, but see, here's the thing about Mexican fans, which I always appreciate and I love to really dive into when I talk about Mexican wrestling. They really allow you to do the shit that you do in Mexico. Because the thing about it is promoters for years in Mexico have failed because the fans were just like, not gonna let that happen. They let you do El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano OG. They let you do that. They were into it. They accepted it. And they're still accepting it. But it's like, you also proved to them, which is why you'll always have AAA fans, that you didn't do mask versus mask to shit on it and WWE-ify it. So like I say, anyone who says that WWE ruined AAA, you've never watched Lucha Libre.
And also, I want to say about this match in particular, before I let Leroy go, is that...
And Penta loses nothing.
Well, Penta's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about a guy who's going to be more than okay. I think what I love the most about this is sometimes the good guy just wins.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was two good guys, and yeah, everyone was kind of 50-50, even though you had an inkling like Chad Gable has to win it here.
Yeah.
And
to go any farther with Chad Gable's redemption story would have literally been me coming on this show and opening with Triple H. What the fuck?
But yeah, go ahead, Leroy.
No, I love the match. I wasn't too keen on the mug root beer spot they had there.
I don't care what anyone says. That was fun. Guys, no, hold on. Wrestling is you get an opportunity, and just to earn another opportunity, Chad did the right thing. He went over, he grabbed the mugs, and he chugged them. He went with it. It was great. Chad sold it. That's all I needed. If Chad had been weirded out by it, which at first he wasn't weirded out, he was kind of confused. But when Chad grabbed the mugs, I was like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, that was weird. But I did love that, the family got in there, his wife, his kids, his mom and dad, and his son wearing the same singlet as his dad.
And by the way, the mug guy,
that was awesome.
Because they let all that family stuff happen, the mug guy could just turn into Spain winning the World Cup. We'll just edit Trump out.
That's
true.
Funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, this is great stuff, man.
And I think, Penta was a fighting champion on Raw with that title.
Oh, Chad will be a fighting
champion.
Definitely can.
But it also goes to show you, in a different light, in a different package, with a different coat of paint. Jesse, Penta's doing okay since he left AEW.
Yeah, Penta's gonna be fine.
And I think
I think what everyone's hoping for tonight is, whatever Roman Reigns' celebration looks like.
Yeah.
That Penta walks out tonight.
And by the way,
Yeah.
when Allison was sitting there being like, ugh, Penta took some rough shots, I'm like, Penta took a night off compared to what he's done in the past.
I mean, some of that shit was a little rough, but
did you look at Chad? He had a little.
Well, still, regardless, I
couple
guess.
spots.
I'm just saying, Penta's not doing crazy shit compared to what he used to.
She mostly just watches the mainstream stuff, so I have no problem with that. But
it's okay. We got room in our schedule for a new show. It's Lucha Underground time.
Because
she's gonna watch some Lucha.
Because I'd have been between Lucha Underground and then TNA, sweetie, this is light. This is light work.
You're gonna have to let me know what she thinks of.
Penta
and Chelsea.
No. Jesse's watched enough wrestling with Allison, and he knows Allison's likes and he knows she'll love Lucha Underground.
Oh yeah,
without
she
question.
But
Lucha Underground is right up her alley.
I want her reaction to watching that match,
especially the goofy shit. She'll love that shit.
Yeah,
that's some good stuff.
And the main event.
Main event of the night, we had Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins, with Roman Reigns retaining and getting, as I said, the monkey off his back by actually beating Seth for the first time.
Jesse, you're the one who, out of all the pundits that I know of and have seen, you're the one that's really been chronicling the Seth Roman saga, the most, even when they were apart. So I'm going to let you take it. And here, allow me to set you up. 15 years ago, it started with them and Dean Ambrose, who was referenced on the show, by the way. So, by the way, despite Mox's weird hatred of this place, they're not petty. It's only you, John, so whatever. But, I mean, Jesse, we've kind of chronicled it throughout the show. I got one more topic after SummerSlam to get to, but this is the real kicker. 15 years literally feels like 10 minutes, but like 15 years ago, these guys showed up, and here we are. I mean, words can't do this justice.
Listen, the Tribal Chief stuff, to me, as I've said, does not work without the Seth Rollins chair to the back. It will never work without that moment. Because that guy who was the big dog and all this for so long does not all of a sudden go to a Paul Heyman and all that kind of shit. Use his power without everything he's been through with Seth Rollins. The guy who kind of accomplished all of it before he did. The guy he can never beat. It felt like just constantly had his number.
The guy who was always in his head. Because that was the one thing Roman always.
Because like I told people, it got forgotten that, and I was happy they reminded people. Yeah, when he was initially the Tribal Chief, he kept the title, but he didn't beat Seth. He got himself disqualified.
Not only that, but Jesse, stabbing Rollins with that chair wasn't going to have the same effect now as it did at WrestleMania 40. Because remember, he's already got Seth back for the shot,
and it cost him everything.
Yep.
When he did that when he did it at Philly, Seth's plan worked.
Yep.
He still hates me enough. Mm-hmm. He'll forget about Cody for a second.
Yep.
He took the chair shot. He smiled. Cody won the match. Listen, I thought this was beautiful storytelling because basically it went to like Seth's trying to pull himself up there at the end.
Yeah.
And as he's trying to pull himself up, he's waiting for it.
Yep.
Because he knows, like, he's going to
Yep.
do it again,
Yep.
and it's going to fucking cost him everything.
And that's
And then he heard him just slide it out
and
the
that
ring.
was the moment when I got back into it, because I'll be honest, even for me, it felt like maybe they were walking around a little too much before that
I'll
moment.
be honest. I loved it in the way because they were doing moves.
Yeah.
But you heard a lot of talking between them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I'm like, for these two, that makes sense.
But I will say the moment that got me back in was when not Roman threw the chair down. It was when Seth was like, wait, there's supposed to be something happening.
Like, he's like, I should be getting the chair shot to the back right now.
And it wasn't breaking the fourth
No.
wall. It was within the context of the story.
And so he turned around and he saw Roman go, no, I'm beating you fair and square. I'm not doing this anymore.
If you ask
I
me,
love that there was no interference.
If you ask me what Jim Cornette will say about this, he'll probably say little clunky, went a little long, and was a little too theatrical for his liking. But there's still no denying the fact that, Jesse, the two biggest stars of the last 15 years, from prospect to champion, it was always these guys.
Listen, man, I've always said that the Shield were kind of the most important characters WWE had the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Everything kind of, because Vince didn't do enough with the Shield and the Wyatts, but that was still pretty important.
Yeah.
But the Shield was very important. And so this rivalry in particular, Roman and Seth, more so than Roman and Mox, and even by the way, they did a decent job of closing out Seth and Mox.
Yeah.
But it was so important because it's the reason Roman does everything and didn't trust anybody and did everything he did now. It's because of Seth Rollins.
Well, and see, that's why I'm not that worried, but I'm also more intrigued about the going-ons of Roman Reigns following this, because, Jesse, if they write it correctly and if Roman plays the character correctly, it should be almost a different character. Not like a face out of nowhere style guy, but like there should be another layer to the tribal chief following. It's all over.
I told people it should be a new layer of acceptance. Like, I finally did it. This chapter's done. For both of them, the chapter's done. I'm trying to do my bloodline family differently now. Because now he's been trying to get it back together as an actual leader in the family. By the way, that's why I think the Solo stuff makes so much sense. Why would Solo ever trust you? Like, you took off, my nigga, for like months. And so he did what he thought he needed to do.
Yeah.
And then when you initially come back, you cost Solo. So I love that for this story to kind of end this way.
And that's my ending question. Do you guys think that they won't go back to this dry well? It's over. They're not going to have a match.
I think it's pretty much over. There's one story,
so.
unfortunately, we'll never finish, and that's these two and Wyndham because he's gone. But I do love
and also them and Mox, because Mox just won't come back.
Which is fun. By the way, to me, the way it ended with him and Seth is more important, because him and Roman had fights.
Yeah.
They were never a rivalry.
And I agree.
But yeah,
I am just rubbed the wrong way. And Jesse,
I get it.
And Jesse learned this about me really early on meeting me. He actually told me about it one time, and I looked at him and said, "Yeah, no, I get it." I get really rubbed the wrong way when people are just not even dismissive, but just blatantly over the top dismissive of a place that not only gave them success, but didn't piss on them on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. John is like so dismissive of WWE and all the love and success that he got from it. I get why Renee's on his side. That's his fucking wife. I get it.
Well, yeah.
But I don't understand how you can look at your WWE days. And Daniel Bryan's gotten to that point with me too. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Well, that's
especially since Mox apparently didn't have a bad relationship with Vince the way we thought he did.
No, he always talked him up. Clearly, I'm I'm done with the grifting. Brian Daniels said. I'm like, you're grifting for what fan base, dude? For what's your purpose? Anyway,
I
whatever.
guarantee you, your checks from WWE still are bigger than the checks AEW gets you for merchandise.
For sure. So, yeah, I'll be honest. When it comes to John, I'm almost at a point where I'm just like, okay, well, you go ahead and try to be the flag bearer. This has not worked out for Swerve. This has not worked out. It didn't work out for MJF so much that he stopped it. He still supports the company he works for.
It hasn't worked out for the Bucks.
Well, no. And then what I love,
Kenny seems tired of it.
Kenny seemed to be tired of it like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's not working out for Ospreay either.
It makes him look stupider every single time. So, yeah, you know what? If that's the way you want to go about it, fine. They can just take the high road on it because they have no reason to disrespect him. He's probably going to go into their Hall of Fame when they put all 3 members of the Shield in the Hall of Fame.
And by the way, John, you're going back for it.
You are.
Just do it.
You know you are.
What are you going to be, that bitter old dude that they're going to both get inducted when they're in their 60s because John died from some GCW bullshit?
No, he won't die.
No.
I get the joke, but he won't.
No. And it's not even a joke. It's the sad part that something unfortunate will have to happen to John if John's going to keep up this petty attitude. When it's like, you can't just go back for a night.
Everybody knows Chris Jericho's going to go in. That's why he's never closed the door on that relationship.
Fuck no. Chris is not that stupid.
So yeah, it's the only guy who's ever talked about his post WWE career in AEW that I've ever really respected outside of Edge and Christian is, to be honest, it's probably Andrade.
Yeah.
Andrade was just like, none of that was their fault. It was my fault. I had to go.
Yeah.
He's always kept it that simple.
And that's why I get really angry with AEW fans when we talk about Andrade because they go, Triple H fumbled. He didn't fumble shit.
Like I say, it is a fumbling on booking a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a bigger fumbling of Andrade maybe just not handling the personal and the business that well.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they wouldn't have wanted to keep him, make him a star still, even if him and Charlotte were getting divorced. Like, people have gotten divorced within the company before.
Charlotte Flair wasn't going to be a professional every day of her life.
It was something he wasn't able to handle within himself. He's admitted that.
Yeah.
He hasn't said exactly what. That's fine. That's between him, his God, and his family.
All right.
But, yeah.
All right. To end SummerSlam, do we have ratings, boys, or do we just want to walk away from it? It was 2 good nights.
So, I give night 1 a solid 3 out of 5.
Okay, yeah.
And I give night 2 like a 4.25 out of 5. It was a much better night.
I'm there with you, yeah.
Much better.
I gave my ratings for both and my recap.
Yeah, recap, which, by the way, you can find on our YouTube.
Watch that on our YouTube, yes.
Now, going into this last topic, it sort of relates to our earlier topic of there's always more things going on in wrestling and how big SummerSlam week was. Leroy, you're kind of probably not going to be able to be a part of this because I promise you probably haven't watched yet, but it's in full and free on YouTube. Jesse, I watched it, and I said to a friend of ours, Mr. Darren Corbin, I haven't watched it in probably 6 or 7 years, but oh my God, I remembered it move for move. Dark Side of the Ring, Samoa Joe and Necro Butcher was a fucking banger.
To hear Samoa Joe go, I cut that promo, not thinking about anything, just
the guys told me
just told me about the match. They told me about the thing, so I thought about the match. So I cut the promo. Necro Butcher is just like, yeah, I kind of took that as Michael Jordan moment. I kind of took that personally.
Joe never trained those 2 guys a day in his life.
He said I worked with them, but I didn't train
them. Yeah. But no, Jesse, I forgot.
By the way, also reminding everyone how dirty of a fucking booker, what's the name was?
Ian Rodden.
Yeah.
But no, Jesse, I think it was 2006, maybe 2008. I was just at home. It was after school. I was in high school, and I was just scrolling through Google, and I was going through wrestling stuff, and I was just like, okay, I kind of know Samoa Joe. He's been in TNA a couple of times, this, that, yada, yada. And then I clicked on it, and I'm just like, what the fuck did I just watch? And I remember, I go back to it every couple of years because it's such a good match.
So, like I told people, what I remember about that time. So I knew about Necro Butcher because I was one of the weird guys who knew about that side of pro wrestling stuff going on in those tapes. So I won't say tapes. At that point in like 2006,
it was just the internet, yeah.
You could just go find it on the internet.
Yeah.
But
2005 was the match.
right.
Yeah.
And so I remember when the match got announced. Now, I wasn't on the boards as much.
No.
But I do remember the boards going crazy about this match happening. Of course, I had already known about Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was, by the way, already a certified badass at TNA at that point.
Oh,
before
God,
he left.
yes.
And so... And so when that match got announced, a lot of us were like, man, this is going to be fucking bloody. It's going to be violent. It's going to be so good. And then as this match starts to unfold, I'm like, oh, we might actually see a man die tonight. It was brutal. It was bloody.
Just search Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher full match on YouTube. The match is right there.
I mean,
Okay, I will definitely.
Don't let your children watch.
I was never a guy.
Yes.
I was never like against Necro Butcher.
No.
I knew about all the CCW wrestling and all that, but I was never against those guys.
I've never had a problem with deathmatch.
Yeah, I never had a problem with those guys. So I was just like, I'm kind of excited to see the two styles because this is probably going to get a little wild.
And Necro kind of proved he could hang with the big boys.
He did. Now,
and I always give him credit for that.
I think really the big part to me about a lot of this was like they didn't really talk the match over. They just were like, "We'll just do it."
Those guys just all called out there. Yeah.
And so the wrestlers are watching the match apparently from the balcony, and they're like, during certain parts, they're like, "Oh fuck! Is somebody gonna stop this?"
I still think my favorite part, outside of Joe taking the booking for some ass, was
that was great. He was like, I took the match because my girlfriend at the time, now wife, was living out there,
lived in Philly,
and I just wanted some ass.
I saw that clip and I'm like, oh, dude.
I still think the funniest
understand.
part of the whole thing was it actually was their 1980 Miracle on Ice. And what I mean by that is, folks, people don't realize, Al Michaels talked about this a couple years ago on Colin Cowherd's show. You guys do realize there was another game after that, right?
Right.
This this wasn't live TV. This was the days of tape delay.
Right.
So like that game happened, they had to resurface the ice, and then the next game happened. So like Al Michaels said, I said that line, and everyone's like, "Oh, you went home." He's like, "No, I had another game to call."
That was the semifinals in Miracle on Ice.
Yep.
Yeah, they had one more game, and the next game was.
And what I mean by that is that
US.
credit.
I actually fucking forgot who the next game was.
Finland and Sweden.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And what I thought was hilarious was Necro Butcher going, "Yeah." And then I had to clean up and go back out there because
he had another thing to go do.
It was in the same building.
Yeah.
I was like,
he had to go do another tag match.
I was like, motherfucker.
By the way, I forgot because they taped 2 shows at once that day.
Yeah.
Fucking great stuff. Yes, and people were talking about Necro Butcher in hindsight about like, it was a shame maybe his career didn't go as far as he wanted it to. But I'm like, listen, I think he established himself as an indie legend, especially when he went to Ring of Honor. He really did establish himself.
And also, Jesse.
And yeah, Joe did get the chance to go to the heights.
Yeah.
And I mean, WWE, Vince should have put the title on him, but he was still very successful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the time of the taping, he was AEW World Champion. So
he was Ring of Honor.
No. When they taped this, he was AEW World Champion.
Now, I also want to leave this show once again trying to get history into our fans, which will be not a large part of our live show coming up live from Excalibur Con, August 15th. But anyway, also
16th.
Would you let me get there, you son of a bitch? God damn it!
It's 2 days.
God, dude, this is why you don't speak as often, because you have no idea how to set shit up. God, you fucking... God damn it.
He was mostly trying to talk about
Way
the
to
main
go,
show.
Leroy. You fucked it up
He was
again.
supposed to just talk about the main show.
Jesus Christ.
And then we will also be there on the 16th.
You are so bad at this game.
By the way, tickets are still available for Excalibur
Yes.
Con here in Duluth, Minnesota. When you shop for them today, we'll try to put the code up. You can get 10% off for your weekend passes.
August 15th, and I guess the 16th, too. Wow, what a boring way to tell them, Leroy. Thanks for fucking it up again, you dumbass.
Excalibur Con brought to
Jesus
you
Christ.
by
cut your own- cut a commercial
YWCA. Great crew, Steve and these guys. Tabletop. They're gonna have 2 nights of cosplay awards. There's gonna be a wrestling row which we will be on.
Leroy's already got first place for looking like a gnome, so don't enter that category.
So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff.
That's true.
There's going to be a healthy amount of really cool voice actors there. So just go look everything up, guys.
I gotta find my gnome hat.
I think you guys will all
Will it
dig
shut
this.
you up during the goddamn show? Jesus Christ.
No.
August 15th and 16th, the Deck Arena, Excalibur Con. Come on down, guys.
Now, Jesse, before we get out of here, I do want to ask you this because, again, I do like to sort of get to the history
Correct.
side of things. Necro Butcher going to Japan, working those hardcore shows over there. What exactly does the hardcore deathmatch stuff mean to the Japanese audience? It's still niche over there, but it was obviously, as we've seen from Sushi's
I gotta be
shows.
honest. Well, it might have been niche. It was still very popular.
Well, that
over
was the
there.
thing, Jesse. They were doing these things in the parking lots of arenas.
Yeah, I mean, in Japan it was very popular.
That's what I think hurt the barbed wire electric match in AEW was they were showing footage of what Sushi was doing, and it's like, yeah, and those explosions were gigantic. Like, it was...
Oh, boy.
Woo!
Though, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Kenny Omega. 69 me. That was funny. Like, he knows the company looked like shit, so just mock it.
Yeah. But Jesse, that's the thing, is like...
Sorry, ask your question again. I'm sorry.
Deathmatch in
Yeah.
Japan
Yeah.
is not vilified in the way it is in America.
No.
Because again, it's still the respect of the athletes.
Well, because you're putting yourself in such dangerous
Because remember,
positions.
everyone looks at Mick Foley as a hardcore legend, not so much because of what he did in America, but because of the tapes of him and Terry Funk getting out from working for Sushi over
Yeah.
there in Japan.
Yeah.
And that was a whole tournament
Yeah.
and everything. So, I mean...
Listen, yeah, I've always said the old school heads of wrestling, so your Cornettes, your Eric Bischoffs, like I can go down the list of all the guys who used to book. Hell, the family of Jim Herd, they're going to disrespect, because they don't believe it's quote-unquote real wrestling.
Yeah.
But what I always appreciated about Paul Heyman was he had an understanding of, like, this kind of wrestling, it's not that it isn't still wrestling. They're just doing something more extravagant for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, I think he once compared it to, like, monster truck rallies.
Yeah.
He's like, would you really care if they weren't, like, destroying shit in those trucks?
If they were just doing jumps
right.
that are only like maybe 20, 50
Right.
feet
You
off the
wouldn't
ground
give a
for a
fuck.
truck that's already 40 feet high.
Right, you wouldn't give a fuck, but because there's big explosion, they're destroying all these little cars. It's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's deathmatch wrestling, man. Like,
Yeah.
so it's
Whether people like it or not, you like carnage.
I've always said
train
you
crashes.
don't have to call yourself a real pro wrestling fan to appreciate deathmatch wrestling.
No.
Like I said, I've always appreciated it in the sense of, and I think Eddie Kingston kind of said it best in the doc was, we were like, fuck it, we'll never make it to these big companies.
Sure.
But we can at least be stars here.
Yeah.
And so you go out and you do the best for the crowds that you make. In this case, they were in the old ECW arena.
Yep.
So why not go out and give these fans who used to be...
I know this is going to sound crazy. I think it's in the top 5 best matches that ever happened in that building.
Ooh.
And I know that's a long list.
It's a deep history.
I know.
Because regardless of John Cena getting booed, that match with him and fucking Rob Van Dam was very
Well,
good.
that wasn't in the ECW arena. That was in
that was
Hammerstein Ballroom.
That was the ballroom.
Yeah.
Don't ask me right now. I can't do it.
No, yeah. That's anyway, we want to thank you guys all very much. We'll be back next week, and then obviously next weekend we'll be live from Excalibur Con, so we appreciate everyone that's going to come down and see us. So thank you all very much, and we will see you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.